cast their votes called it a democratic election.
Are you happy, ma'am?
Are you happy?
Ma'am, are you happy?
I have been waiting for a long time for this case. I have been waiting for a long time.
Meanwhile, multiple Congress leaders have also come out to voice their opinion on the fairness of these elections, with Tharoor's proposers calling it an unfair election, while others term the allegations as completely baseless.
There were some issues during the elections, and we brought them to the attention of the Chief Election Authority. In many cases, they intervened, they tried, and they did their best, the Election Authority. But of course, maybe the playing field was not fully level because we can't have a perfect system. But at the same time, that did not deter us. We actually still went on with the campaign, and I think the results will prove that.
He's got equal right as Tharoor Sahab, and people are voting the candidates which they like, with the thing what policies they have. And it's not that nobody's going against Tharoor, nobody's going against him. But here you have two candidates who are more involved, people are looking at it and they're voting for it. I don't know who they're going to vote ultimately, but when the result comes out, we feel that, and anybody who speaks that anything, I think it's the wrong thing.
With that, let's get you a quick roundup of the other stories which are coming in after students of Delhi University's all-women Miranda House were allegedly harassed by men at the college's Diwali fest. The Delhi Commission for Women has now issued a notice to the police and even the college. The principal of Miranda House College has said that they have not received any complaints regarding any sexual harassment by the students nonetheless. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee met the family members of victims who lost their lives in a flash flood in Jalpaiguri during the Durga Idol immersion on 5th of October. Heavy rains lash Raipur district in Chhattisgarh. Rains are expected to continue in the region on Tuesday, which is tomorrow as well. 2 people have been attacked with sharp weapons in broad daylight in Madurai after an argument reportedly broke out over parking space. 6 people have been arrested so far. But with that, let's move on in the bulletin, tell you how Hindi imposition debate has again heated up. Further, after Union Home Minister Amit Shah unveiled the first MBBS course in Hindi. Now, Madhya Pradesh has become the first state to do so. The Home Minister has also announced that education in engineering colleges and polytechnics will begin in Hindi medium in the state within the next 6 months. Prime Minister Modi too has hailed the move, calling it a big positive change for the students. Now, this comes amidst protests by the DMK and other opposition parties over the alleged Hindi imposition. So this row has been triggered off the language panel's recommendations which have come in on this.
प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देश भर के विद्यार्थियों की ओर से देता हूं कि नई शिक्षा नीति में उन्होंने प्राथमिक शिक्षा में और टेक्निकल और मेडिकल एजुकेशन में बच्चे की मातृभाषा को अहमियत देकर बहुत बड़ा एक ऐतिहासिक निर्णय किया है। मोदी जी ने हिंदी, तमिल, तेलुगु, मलयाली, गुजराती, बंगाली ये सभी भाषाओं में मेडिकल और इंजीनियरिंग की शिक्षा उपलब्ध कराने का जो आह्वान किया।
भोपाल की पवित्र धरती पर मेडिकल की पढ़ाई अब हिंदी में भी होगी। तो सुनो ग्वालियर चंबल वालों, गरीब परिवारों के बच्चे, निम्न मध्यम वर्गीय किसानों के बेटा बेटी जो अंग्रेजी के कारण प्रतिभा तो होती थी, आगे नहीं बढ़ पाते थे, उनकी जिंदगी में नया सवेरा आएगा।
Well, that's all we could pack in for you this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. With that, it's time for India Up Front with Rahul Shivshankar, our editor-in-chief.
Thanks indeed, Meghna. Thanks indeed. Yes, viewers, the big story of the day today came from Delhi, where Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister, was called in for questioning by the CBI. Now, viewers, focus for a few moments on the extreme right of your screen. You see the visage of a young man. Who doesn't know Bhagat Singh? A young revolutionary who stood up to the bloodthirst of the British that struck down Indian voices that spoke up against arguably the greatest human rights atrocity ever committed by a regime over possibly the longest uninterrupted period of time. The kind of atrocities that we saw under the British, viewers, were perhaps only replicated in South America. The period is also comparable. Before that, of course, viewers, India was ruled by the Mughals. Bhagat Singh, viewers, Bhagat Singh walked with his head held high to the gallows at the tender age of 23 for pleading guilty to his crime of punishing the British for their cruel and barbarous reign that cut down Indians just because they stood up and asked a simple question: why haven't you given us our freedom? Bhagat Singh wanted to teach the British a lesson for killing Lala Lajpat Rai. Viewers, Bhagat Singh's sacrifice on the back of inhuman torture in jail is the stuff of modern Indian legend. His unbending moral conviction in the face of terror elevated him to the status of a cult hero and energized or electrified the Indian freedom struggle. Swadhinta, Inqilab, the words. Who can forget his steely responses encapsulated by these words when Judge Hilton asked him his name in court? What's your name, Bhagat Singh? And he said, Inqilab, Swadhinta. What a shame then, viewers, what a shame then that today this great son of India, this great icon of Indian sacrifice is being equated to a deputy chief minister who enjoys untrammeled freedoms, perks, privileges of office, of an office that free Indians elected him into. In a free, democratic, constitutionally governed Bharat. Viewers, a plain reading of the facts will tell you that by no stretch of the imagination is Manish Sisodia Bhagat Singh. But unfortunately, AAP's political managers don't seem to think so. They think that Mr. Sisodia is a modern-day Bhagat Singh. This morning, Sisodia appeared before the CBI. He was questioned for his role in the alleged liquor scam. Bhagat Singh, viewers, when he was questioned by the police, he didn't have the luxury to expect a free and fair trial. He knew the outcome. And that's why when the judge asked him, how does he plead? He said, I have no defense. Manish Sisodia, on the other hand, viewers, will have the advantage of hiring the best lawyers in this country and arguing his case before a judiciary that will evaluate it on merit. Viewers, the case that we are talking about is the alleged liquor scam that has engulfed the Arvind Kejriwal government. But instead of answering the questions that are being more insistently posed by the CBI, the Aam Aadmi Party is resorting to drawing these facile analogies. So what is it that the CBI wants to know from Sisodia? Viewers, here are the questions that our sources are telling us Mr. Sisodia was asked today. Who in your government was getting 6% cut out of 12% commission? Why wasn't LG's permission taken while implementing this liquor policy. That liquor policy, of course, viewers, has been scrapped. At whose behest was the new flawed excise policy drafted? Is it true that liquor traders and lobbyists drafted the policy? Is it true that manufacturers entered into the retail business, thereby queering the pitch? Didn't you realize the new excise policy will reduce government revenue by several hundred crores? Viewers, while the CBI Sisodia, who in the government allegedly pocketed 6% of the 12% alleged cut money, his party chief valorized him by saying, jail and noose didn't deter Bhagat Singh. And this is the second fight for our freedom. Sisodia and Jain, a co-accused in another particular scandal, viewers, are today's Bhagat Singhs. Listen in. Listen in.
इस तरह से बापू के खिलाफ उस वक्त की सरकार ने तरह तरह के फर्जी मुकदमे लगा के बार-बार उनको जेल भेजा। मैं आज पहली बार अपने आप में वो गर्व महसूस कर रहा हूँ कि जिस तरह से हमारे देश के शहीदों ने, हमारे देश को आज़ाद कराने वाले लोगों ने देश की जनता के लिए लड़ाई लड़ी और वो जेल में गए। जिस तरह से बापू को षड्यंत्र में फंसा के अंग्रेजों की सरकार ने झूठे मुकदमे कर करके जेल में भेजा, आज मेरे ऊपर भी एक फर्जी मुकदमा करके मुझे जेल भेजने की तैयारी की जा रही है।
भगत सिंह जी ने जिस तरीके से शिक्षा पे, स्वास्थ्य पे, इस देश की तरक्की पे अपने विचार दिए थे, उन्हीं विचारों को आगे बढ़ाने का काम मनीष सिसोदिया कर रहे हैं। भगत सिंह के पद चिन्हों पे चल रहे हैं।
This is the second fight for independence. Anyone working for the interest of the people is being sent to jail. Satendra Jain, the one who gave the model of Mohalla to the country, has been in jail for 4 months. Now, Manish Sisodia is going to be arrested today and sent to jail.
Viewers, forget about other political parties. The family of Bhagat Singh, his kin, are completely livid at this analogy. Listen in.
मैं तो ये रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा केजरीवाल साहब को, दिस इज एन इंसल्ट टू शीर भगत सिंह. Don't tarnish the image of Bhagat Singh or other freedom fighters by comparing their MLAs with their ministers. देखो उनको इसके बारे में उनको जो स्टेटमेंट दी है उनको ये वापस लेना चाहिए, बहुत माफी मांगनी चाहिए.
That was Harbhajan Singh Dhat, viewers, nephew of Bhagat Singh, Shaheed Bhagat Singh, saying don't drag icons into your daily squabbles. Viewers, let's look at some facts. I know it is facile, but still, for academic reasons, let's take a comparison. Bhagat Singh hanged for fighting authoritarian colonial power at the age of 23. Manish Sisodia is accused number 1 by the CBI in an independent, vibrant democracy. He has a court of appeal to go to where he will be given his say. Bhagat Singh was fighting for the imperishable right of freedom, viewers. He lived at a time when criticizing the government, as Sisodia is doing, would take you to the gallows. Manish Sisodia is the Deputy Chief Minister, a powerful position in an elected government, viewers. He's no mendicant looking for how to survive the day. He is not worried that someone is going to kick him here in his spleen, viewers, so that he dies. There is no such atrocity. Viewers, Bhagat Singh told Judge Hilton, I never had a desire to defend myself, never thought of it, because he knew it wouldn't matter. Mr. Sisodia says, I will be arrested because BJP is scared of losing Gujarat. Zero faith, viewers, he has in an open system. Sisodia also compared himself to Mahatma Gandhi. How about this analogy, viewers? Let's have a look at this. Mahatma Gandhi said liquor, as we say, is an invention of the devil. Manish Sisodia is accused, number one accused, in providing allegedly undue favors to liquor barons. Viewers, Times Now is not underwriting prohibition. I'm just trying to tell you about the two views, Mahatma Gandhi and Manish Sisodia. Mahatma Gandhi, teetotaler, said India should be dry. Right, wrong, that's his view. Manish Sisodia was, as you know, the architect of a liquor policy. Mahatma Gandhi, corruption will go when persons realize that nation does not exist for them. Ending corruption requires a high code of morals and extreme vigilance. Vigilance of those free from graft and have influence over corrupt servants. But of course, Manish Sisodia is accused, only accused, viewers. We don't know if he's guilty or not. He's accused of taking 6% cut. Now let's open this up, because some fundamental questions need to be asked, and I want to first begin with Smita Prakash and Dr. Akash Deep Muni. Smita Prakash, first of all, let's just talk about this analogy. Now, you know, it's not the first time that politicians have invoked or seen themselves analogous to great icons of our history. So in that sense, Manish Sisodia is not doing anything wrong, is he? Or do you believe that this is outlandish? This is an attempt to use freedom fighters, their legacy, their capital, to defend a political position?
Yeah, it's Rahul, I think it's some illusion of grandeur, and it usually comes after being in politics for a long time, and for holding offices of profit for a long time. If you've been a neta for a long time, then you have this illusion of grandeur. I'm surprised that it comes from people who claim to be Aam Aadmis, who say that they've risen from the ranks, and they will maintain their connection with ordinariness. And with common man aspirations, and they represent that, and for them to ascribe to themselves this grandeur of being like Bhagat Singh or like Mahatma Gandhi, shaheeds of the freedom struggle, I mean it's very incongruous. But if you will allow me, I'd like to comment on the larger picture than the immediate one. The Aam Aadmi Party, Rahul, as we all know, that it came on this anti-corruption plank. And that was the platform before the Delhi election. They won an astounding majority. They got 67 of the 70 seats, I think. And before the Punjab polls, they reinvented themselves again. They moved away from this anti-corruption plank, and they became this welfare measures party. And there also they got an absolute majority. Now comes the Gujarat election, and they are trying to remodel all over again, and that's why you're seeing this whole coming with Bapu and Bhagat Singh imagery, and they just want to make some kind of a headway, and they think that an anti-BJP plank, if they take on, then those who are disgruntled or just maybe tired of having the BJP in power for a long time, they might be able to get that, and they might be able to eat out into the Congress plank. And that's why they are trying to do something to shock the voter base, by making these kind of things. And they're saying that they are the martyrs, they are the ones who are being targeted because they are the only honest representatives of true politics, which comes down from Bapu and from Shaheed Bhagat Singh. But I think people of Gujarat are very politically savvy. I don't think that they will buy this imagery that the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to conjure up.
Okay, let me bring in Advocate Abhishek Sudhir and Shahzad Poonawala. Advocate Abhishek Sudhir, Bhagat Singh, 23-year-old, died. He had immense courage of conviction. He didn't even stand there and plead innocent. He says, what I've done for the greater glory of Bharat. I think I've described his attributes at the beginning of the show. Sisodia is fulminating in a free Indian democracy against charges that have been brought against him and his government in the course of an investigation into what is a purported liquor scam. How can he even begin to compare himself to Mahatma Gandhi and Bhagat Singh? Bhagat Singh.
Well, first question is who idolizes whom? If the Bharatiya Janata Party wants to idolize the killer of Gandhi, or they want to idolize a gentleman who filed a mercy petition in front of the British, and the Aam Aadmi chooses to idolize Mahatma Gandhi himself, or Bhagat Singh, Shaheed Bhagat Singh, who requested that a British military detachment execute him by firing squad, the comparison is there for all to see. The imagery of Bhagat Singh belongs to the entire nation. Every citizen of this country has a right to say that he looks up to Shaheed Bhagat Singh, that he wants to live his life according to the ideals of Shaheed Bhagat Singh. The first movement for freedom, I would say, was really in 1947. Today, this is a second freedom movement. But it's freedom from what? Freedom from poverty, freedom from illiteracy, freedom from death. We've just been through a horrific second wave of COVID where hospitals were not open. And during COVID, lest we forget, education suffered. Children were pulled out of schools. This is an issue we don't discuss. Today, the new frontiers of freedom are education and healthcare. And on these two planks, if a party is willing to deliver, then I say, Godspeed.
Godspeed. Well, what you glossed over, of course, is the fact that it's not just they idolize, the AAP idolizes, they say, Sisodia is Bhagat Singh. Is Bhagat Singh. Not that he's a Bhakt of Bhagat Singh, that he is Bhagat Singh. That's the comparison that is being drawn, viewers. I don't think anyone till date has gotten up in this country. Even the most as Smita Prakash says, even those that harbor perhaps delusions of grandeur have woken up and said they are Mahatma Gandhi, the personification of Mahatma Gandhi or Bhagat Singh. They may say we idolize them. You know, 1 second. Let me bring in Shehzad Poonawalla. This is interesting because you brought in a different angle. Let's Mr. Shehzad Poonawalla respond to you. I'm just putting out the question, viewers. This is not about some likeness. This is about somebody saying that they are. Not even in passing, but they are. Shehzad Poonawalla, why is it that the BJP is so much in this twist when Advocate Abhishek Sudhir says, well, you know, you have yours, you know, you idolize, what is it, Godse and company. That's what he's saying. What's wrong?
Well, first of all, we idolize Mahatma Gandhi and therefore there is prohibition in the state of Gujarat, and if they also idolize Mahatma Gandhi, then they should be telling us whether in Gujarat the Aam Aadmi Party, and I'm asking this of the original spokespersons, if they feel the policy that they implemented was so good and such a world-class excise policy, is that the policy that they want to implement in Gandhi's Gujarat? Look, from Swaraj to Sharab, from India against corruption to protection, defense and celebration of corruption, this entire political transformation and the political conversion of the Aam Aadmi Party is in front of all of us. And I think they are more of descendants of Abdul Latif, the infamous bootlegger in Gujarat, rather than who functioned during the Congress period, than the descendants of Bhagat Singh ji. Because let me tell you, during the peak of COVID wave, instead of planning to cut down the fees of children in schools, they were increasing the children's fees in schools and in educational institutions, and at the same time they were giving windfall gains to the thekedars of Sharab in Delhi. You remember the kind of 144 crore waiver they gave, the kind of 2 to 12% commission that they increased, the kind of waiver they gave in terms of increasing the licensing period, 30 crore EMD was allowed to be refunded, and at the time when the manufacturing companies and the blacklisted companies could not come into this trade, they allowed them to come into this trade. They allowed them to open up a liquor vend in mohallas, more than two liquor vends in every mohalla. And when specific questions are being asked about this, instead of answering these specific questions, what do we say? That they play the victimhood card and they compare themselves with Bhagat Singh ji. But this is nothing surprising, Rahul. You remember they compared Tahir Hussain, who is now who's facing charges, and charges have been framed against him by a court of law. They compared him to Kanha. Imagine a person who engineered the anti-Hindu riots in Delhi is compared to Kanha. Then they compared Satyendra Jain to Kattar Imandar and to Bhagat Singh Ji. Satyendra Jain languishes in jail after 4 months, despite the fact that there is a high court order against him, there's a trial court order against him, there's no relief given to him. They propel half-truths about Satyendra Jain. He's still in jail. Vijay Nair, another key aide of Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal, has not got any relief. If there is no evidence against them, if there is not an iota of evidence against them, rather than comparing themselves with Bhagat Singh Ji, they should go to a court of law in which they must be having some faith and get the FIR quashed. Why haven't they got the FIR quashed from 17th of August to 17th of October? This is because they know that the courts of law themselves have not entertained any of these victimhood cards that they keep playing, and this permanent victimhood card that they keep pulling out instead of answering the specific questions itself shows that they have a lot to hide.
Let me bring in Piyush Joshi. Piyush Joshi, Mr. Poonawala says they are legatees of Abdul Latif, the bootlegger, and not Gandhiji and Bhagat Singh. And he goes on to say that if you are as clean as the driven snow, then why haven't you been able to get favorable orders when you have moved petitions seeking the quashing of these cases?
I wouldn't like to respond to the former charge. It's a little beneath. Kejriwal ji and Sisodia ji have been elected, and till date, no charges have been proven against them. As you yourself has...
Which charges were proven against against the LG? Which charges were proven against the BJP, where you said 800 crores had been got for actually engineering a split in your party? By the way, there was an audio tape which you not put out as yet. Which charges were proven against BJP, where you had to apologize? Which charges were proven against the 13 UPA?
Okay, one second, Mr. Poonawala.
Which charges were
proven
railroading?
You're railroading. Okay, you're railroading. You're railroading Piyush Joshi. He was making a point. I'll let you respond. No problems. Mr. Joshi, go ahead. Make your point. Respond.
Right. I'm just I'm very clear in my mind, because Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal in the National Council meeting has amply clarified that we derive inspiration from the two heroes of this country, that is Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar and Shahid Bhagat Singh. So today the message was to convey that we are the followers, we are just following the legacy of Shahid-e-Azam Bhagat Singh, and we are fighting a fight of truth. And Satyamev Jayate is what Mr. Kejriwal has said, and Manish Sisodia has also said.
Right.
Similarly, when you talk about Bapu, as far as Gandhiji is concerned, I am sure nobody can compare themselves to Bapu.
One second, Mr. Joshi, you talked about Bhimrao Ambedkar Saab, and we all know that the photo of Mr. Kejriwal, right behind Mr. Kejriwal, is always Bhimrao Ambedkar on one side and Bhagat Singh on the other. Am I right or am I wrong,
yes,
Mr.
Absolutely,
Joshi?
You're right.
So then tell me, how did the AAP suddenly abandon Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, and why did a minister in the AAP government, Mr. Gautam, have to resign for standing in the public domain and basically enunciating the 10 oaths or 15 oaths that Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar administered?
The Aam Aadmi Party did not abandon Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. The Aam Aadmi Party follows the most important document. I'm just trying to tell you, the Aam Aadmi Party follows the most important document, like the Gita of the modern India right now, which is the Constitution. And the Aam Aadmi Party's foundation day is also the Samvidhan Divas, that is the 26th of November.
No, but why did they ask Mr. Gautam to resign when he was following the legacy?
Nobody asked him to resign. Nobody asked him to resign. He resigned out of his own accord, mentioning that he does not want any trouble because of him. He does not want the attention to be diverted.
You never spoke up to defend him.
Attention was diverted.
One second, Mr. Joshi. I just want to ask you a simple question. Why didn't the AAP defend, come out and defend, come to TV channels and defend Mr. Gautam? They withdrew their spokespeople from all TV debates. What happened there? I'm trying to figure this out, because the BJP said, oh gosh, Mr. Gautam, the minister, has insulted Hindus, has insulted the constitution of this country by basically making a bunch of followers repeat the oaths of Dr. Ambedkar. Now, the AAP should have said, well, are you saying that Dr. Ambedkar, who wrote the constitution, was some sort of a, legal apostate?
Nobody is going to say
no one defended him. Would you
No.
defend Mr. Joshi? Would you say that Mr. Gautam's retirement, resignation, call it what you want to, retired hurt or whatever you want to say, in the thick of battle was wrong, and the AAP should have come out and defended him? That's all I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'm just telling you in 30 seconds time, I won't take more than that. It is pretty clear why Mr. Gautam resigned, because he did not want the attention to be diverted from the core issues facing the public of Gujarat. What are those core issues? The literally pathetic state of government schools in Gujarat. More than 6,000 schools have closed. The illegal illicit liquor trade business which is flourishing in the state of Gujarat, and thousands of crores are going away. And so BJP, if actually BJP has done something in last 27 years of their governance, they would be marketing on those things that देखो भाई हमने ये स्कूल बना लिए, look we have built those hospitals, vote us on that. Instead, what the BJP was trying to say, AAP is anti-Hindu. Now what they are trying to say,
but how does upholding Dr. Ambedkar's legacy, this is what I'm trying to understand, distract the people of Gujarat? Are there no Dalits in Gujarat, sir?
Look, we have conducted so many debates. You yourself have conducted so many debates. How many of them are the core issues of Gujarat?
Would it not be relevant? Would they not be relevant, Mr. Joshi?
What I'm trying to tell you, that the core issues of Gujarat.
I'm only asking you. I'm only asking. If the BJP was attacking, if the BJP was attacking the oaths that were taken of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, then what a wonderful position you could have taken in Gujarat and said, look, the BJP is Dalit Virodhi. It has no sympathy for Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Look at what happened in Una. It would have been a massive political plank for you, but you abandoned it. I can't understand why.
Nobody.
That's what I'm asking. Is your espousal today of Bhagat Singh as opportunistic as it was of Dr. Ambedkar? Simple question.
Look, Aam Aadmi Party, wherever it fights the election on certain core issues. The core issues are of education, healthcare, water supply, electricity, and employment.
Right.
If the attention is diverted away from these things, we always try to bring back the attention on these issues.
Okay.
Similar thing the BJP tried to do in the Delhi elections, when they all the time they keep on kept up shouting about Shaheen Bagh, and Shaheen.
So Hanuman Chalisa in Delhi was a core issue. Okay. And
Hanuman Chalisa was never a core issue,
but you made it one. You made it one. You said this is our undying commitment.
Whether Kejriwal
let me bring it.
Okay. Whether Kejriwal has delivered or not on his promises, that was the core issue, and that's why he was brought back.
Okay.
And similarly,
I just hope they don't remove Bhagat Singh ji's photograph now from the pantheon.
So nobody is removing.
Okay. One second. Sharat Punawala, you wanted to interject because Piyush Joshi started by taking a pot shot at you. You had asked a question. What was that question that you were asking Piyush Joshi? I also want to bring in Advocate Sudhir, who had a question, I think. I'm not sure if he raised his hand or not, but I think he was.
Rahul, for a change, let us discuss the core issues of Gujarat. Let us come to that. First of all, what is the core issue of Gujarat? By the way, the unemployment rate in Delhi, as we speak, as per the CMI data, is 9.6% and it is 1.5% in Gujarat. If I'm lying or if I'm wrong, anybody can fact check me on air right now. For the last 4 years, Gujarat has been #1 in FDI. 37% of the FDI was received last year by Gujarat alone in India. Now you can tell me how much FDI was received by Delhi in the last 5 years. But apart from that, for the last 10 years, Gujarat's GSDP growth rate has been higher than the national average. In fact, for the last 15 years, it has been higher than the national growth rate. You tell me what is the growth rate of Delhi, and I am coming to the core issues of Gujarat. Isn't it a core issue that the policy you felt was very good in Delhi, are you going to implement that in Gujarat? Because their candidate from Somnath has said that drinking liquor is very good. So this is a core issue they must tell us. Now, secondly, on Ambedkar ji. Ambedkar ji's main philosophy was about constitutionalism and rule of law. Okay. Now today, look at the tweet of Mr. Kejriwal. He says, jail ke tale tootenge, Manish Sisodia chootenge. Is this rule of law? Is this rule of law to go and abide by the constitution and to participate in the investigation?
Which Dr. Ambedkar?
Intimidate the investigation?
Which Dr. Ambedkar do you want to embrace? The one that will, the Dr. Ambedkar who will beatifically support you for saying ताले टूटेंगे जेल के? Which one?
Look, when we go by certain sayings, when we go by certain quants of poetry, that is different. There are no two.
Sir, this is not poetry. This is a limerick. This is a cheap. This is a limerick. Okay, Abhishek.
Whatever it is.
Abhishek Sudhir, the Deputy Chief Minister, says, "I'm going to uphold the rule of law by breaking the law out of jail." I know it's a little funny. What more can one say? It is a bit absurd. Yes, I'll bring you in, Muni Saab. I think Sudhir ji was raising his hand. He was, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I just, Shehzad is like the Vande Bharat Express. He just starts off, like a bullet and then just loses his way and breaks down. So I'm just going to try to, address this point about prohibition that Shehzad made. You are in power in New Delhi. You run the country. So if you truly do believe in prohibition, and Modi ji actually believes in Gandhi ji's views on prohibition, pass a federal law on prohibition. But see, the problem is prohibition is an idea that is impractical.
This is not possible.
Just because you idolize somebody doesn't mean that you have to...
principles of state policy, and under the constitutional scheme, this is not a central issue. It's not in the central list. So stop exposing your ignorance of the constitution, just like you're ignorant about Bhagat Singh, and you're ignorant about Baba Saheb Ambedkar, and you're probably ignorant about Mahatma Gandhi.
Let him finish.
By the way, please ask Mr. Joshi or Mr. Deepuni.
One second. One second.
May I ask one question?
One second.
Rahulji, please ask the Vande Bharat.
Okay. Abhishek Sudhir is not the, sorry to say this,
can I just fully
tongue in cheek. He is not the cow that has come onto the rail tracks. Okay, fully with tongue in cheek. I'm saying this. So Abhishek Sudhir, don't mistake him for a cow.
They are working on these.
Okay. One second. Abhishek Sudhir, make your point.
20 seconds.
Yeah, make your point. Akashdeep Muni is waiting in the wings.
Shehzad, you have a brute majority. All right, you can bring, there is something called the concurrent list. Prohibition can be brought under the concurrent list. It's not like you have any great respect for constitutional procedure. You pass the farm laws by voice vote and you denied a division. So please don't invoke procedure when it suits you and discard it when it suits you. Let's come down to prohibition. First of all, Gandhi ji wanted prohibition to be in place. He wanted a constitutional bar on the consumption of liquor. He wanted prohibition to be in the constitution. The constitution makers of the day, chiefly Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Pandit Nehru and the other members of the Constituent Assembly, rejected that proposal. Does that mean they were anti-Gandhiji? Does that mean they rejected the ideas of Gandhiji? And Rahulji, you said about, he's saying he is Bhagat Singh. You remember India Against Corruption? They used to wear those hats saying, main Anna hu, ya main Gandhi hu. People like Bhagat Singh are not just people, they're ideas. They've transcended just being, a person, they're an idea. As Bhagat Singh said when he was executed, you may kill me, but you can't kill my ideas. The Aam Aadmi Party, in my humble opinion, is laying claim to his ideology, is laying claim to his way of doing things, is laying claim to what he believed in, and they believe that if Bhagat Singh was alive today, he would have been opposed to this fascist government that puts every opposition leader in jail, that puts ordinary citizens in jail. If Bhagat Singh was alive today, let me assure you, he would be leading a revolution against Narendra Damodar Das Modi. I have no doubt in my mind.
The idea of Bhagat Singh, by the way, is about securing the youth's future in this country. And in Punjab, there are 168 drug deaths in the last 6 months as we speak. This is the idea that you secured. This is the idea of Bhagat Singh ji. The idea of Bhagat Singh ji. Now don't interrupt, Mr. Sudhir. Now, Mr. Sudhir, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt, because I know that you will keep chugging along, but you will not have place for the facts. Now, Mr. Sudhir, the idea of Bhagat Singh ji was to give free water and electricity and free healthcare. In Punjab, what you have done is that in your haste to do revdi politics, free healthcare has been stopped. You are not being able to pay government servants. The fact is that you have allowed nasha to reach mohalla, not clean water. So please tell me, are you on the idea of Bhagat Singh ji, or are you on the idea of Abdul Latif? And more importantly, Mr. Sudhir, please answer just one question, that in Gujarat, if you want to have an election on issues, is Gopal Italia reflecting the mindset of Mahatma Gandhi or Bhagat Singh when he abuses the Prime Minister's mother, when he abuses Hindus, when he abuses Kathas? Is that the idea of Bhagat Singh or of Mahatma Gandhi?
The debate will always come back to this.
Shehzad, we've had many a debate on Uttar Pradesh. The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh has given the full form of that word in an interview to ANI. We have the editor of ANI here. Please ask her. Yogi Adityanath gave the full form of that word. Where is your outrage, man? It was given to a reporter of ANI. Ask Smita ji, she'll tell you. It's on camera.
Okay. Viewers, let's get back to the subject.
So should Yogi ji resign now?
One
Please
second.
tell me, Shahzad.
Look, viewers, invective flows all directions in Indian politics. No one party can claim to be more in any way holy than the other when it comes to invectives. So let's just park that aside. That's a debate for another day. I want to get back to Mr. Muni. I want to get back to Smita Prakash. Mr. Muni, very simple question, and this is a question that I find rather perplexing. So the CBI has summoned you. So the CBI is going to question you. If you're innocent, if you have nothing to hide, go through the process. Why are you today vilifying the process, undermining the citizens' confidence in the process, and in the process, you are fanning the flames of anarchy? Akashdeep Muni, okay. I'm sure Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar would not have appreciated this. He was a man of the law, man of letters. He set up a framework in which the hope always was that, unlike under British rule that you have invoked today, every Indian would be A, free to go to the courts, B, expect free and fair justice, which is where we are at today.
Rahulji, the first thing I want to tell you is, as per the BJP spokespersons, the scam of liquor in Delhi is of 10,000 crores. 500 raids have been conducted by the central agencies, approximately more than that. Till today, not a single penny with the name of Manish Sisodia has been recovered. It shows how the central agencies are illegally used by the central government against a particular person, and this is just a metaphor used in comparing Manish Sisodia with Bhagat Singh. Let me complete, sir. Second point, Bhagat Singh was a socialist Republican leader. Indian Socialist Republican Association was his party name. He espoused free education, free water, clean governance, and that's what is the motto of and implemented by a person named Manish Sisodia. He brought in good education. Just 5 years ago in EW ranking, not a single school of Delhi was there, and today 5 schools are in the top 10 list of EW ranking from Delhi. It shows that how education has been changed. And last word, sir, my friend of BJP was speaking about idea and what they have done in Punjab. Sir, there is a city in Punjab called Fagwara, where every Sunday there is no power in Punjab. Shahzad ji haven't visited Punjab, I think, lately. I live in Punjab. And after the Aam Aadmi Party governance has come, electricity, water supply, cleanliness has been provided. This shows real-time governance, socialistic governance.
Okay, one second. I'm sure, sir, yes, that socialistic governments didn't encompass giving metaphoric alleged freebies to liquor dispensers. Okay, that's what the charge is. Of course not, sir. Now, we are not looking at the nitty-gritties of the case here. We are looking at this martyr card that is being played.
So I'm ready to.
I'm only asking you, Mr. Muni, do you believe today, instead of trying to bog down this entire debate, obfuscate it with numbers and figures and this victim/martyr card, why don't you answer a simple question? If all is okay, if Satyendra Jain is as innocent as you claim he is, why are moves to quash cases not being, please, not being accepted by the courts? Why aren't they being rubber stamped? Simple question.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'll answer. In Satyendra Jain case, the trial court judge was questioning the ED on criminality, and please you can go through the trial court proceedings. And when there was petition to change the trial court judge, this shows that till date why Satyendra Jain has not got a bail.
Second
Are you
point.
saying that the courts are corrupt, the judges are corrupt, that
No,
they
no,
are...
no, no, no.
What are you saying?
No, sir. No, sir.
Well, I'm not going
No,
to
sir.
allow
I'm
that
not
remark.
saying-
One minute.
No,
I need to step
no,
in
I'm
here.
not
Just a
saying that.
second.
I'm not saying that.
Are you
I'm not saying
suggesting that the judge is under influence? What are you suggesting? I'm not understanding what you're saying. Akashdi Muni, be
What I'm
careful because
suggesting-
this is a public
yeah,
platform.
I'm very careful. Yes. I'm very careful, sir. I've said that the trial court judge was questioning the enforcement directorate on the criminality of the case, and Shahzad sir knows about it, and everybody knows about it. And there was move to change the trial court judge
by the prosecuting authorities. So that's pretty clear. What is the BJP and how keen are the
No, this is the
BJP?
same. This has echoes. No, 1 second. This has echoes of, what many people said some 5 years ago about Justice lawyer Smita Prakash, that, the courts themselves are open to suasion, that there are people who are using the leverage that they might have to get judges replaced. This has echoes of Justice Loya, and I remember Shahzad Poonawala's own brother, Tehseen Poonawala, is in fact pulled up by the Supreme Court at that time for suggesting that Justice Loya, we all know what happened, unfortunately, to Justice Loya, and for dredging up a sort of conspiracy theory. Smita Prakash.
Rahul, I really want to come back to the debate at hand and what the spokespersons here have been talking about. Now, what you're running out here about the BJP, the Aam Aadmi Party calling themselves inheritors of Shahid Bhagat Singh and Bapu's legacy and even Ambedkar's legacy, like Aam Aadmi Party hops from one ideology to the other. It really has no ideology. It started on a plank, but it's not an ideology bound party. I mean, like the BJP has a Hindutva ideology, the Congress party has a leftist secularism kind of an ideology, regional parties like the TMC and the DMK, they all have their own ideologies restricted to their region. But the BJP, but the Aam Aadmi Party reinvents itself with every election. So it brings out a new ideology for itself. So while it had Ambedkar going for it for the Punjab election, now it has abandoned that and it is now going on to this soft Hindutva and hyper nationalism when it comes to Gujarat. So it's just abandoned. Ab Ambedkar ko thodi der jaane do, let's now pick up another ideology. So this election time hopping, it's a little exhausting, and this second freedom fighter attitude that it has, that ki hum ab second freedom fight pe hai, that this Aam Aadmi Party is trying to claim, it's an exaggeration beyond belief, and this constant need to reinvent itself, and in a hyperbolic situation, hyperbolic manner, it's getting exhausting for even viewers, forget about voters.
Well, viewers, look, the two icons that we are talking about sacrificed themselves for the nation. The question will remain, has Sisodia also put his nation first? That's the bottom line question. We've heard a variety of responses from Mr. Sudhir, Mr. Muni, Mr. Joshi. I leave it to you, viewers, to decide whether they were sufficient enough in answering the basic question. Has Sisodia also put nation first to qualify as, in his own words, a modern day Bhagat Singh or even a Mahatma Gandhi? That's the fundamental question, viewers. I leave it to you now to think this through. Another round of elections coming up in Gujarat. Many people will say that all of this is all geared towards advantaging X party, Y party beyond the issue itself. I leave it to you to consider this. I need to move on, viewers. There's a very, very important story that I want to discuss with you. Viewers, in the life of every political outfit espousing a righteous cause on behalf of a social group, there comes a time to make choices. How a political group exercises those choices in the course of its advocacy matters as much as its mission. There is an old cliche the ends justify the means. Some people believe that the means employed are sometimes more important than the ends. Now, viewers, when it comes to deciding your choices, an organization can take the moral high road or the low road. Today, the VHP or the Vishwa Hindu Parishad that claims to speak for Hindus is at a similar fork in the road, viewers. It can choose to take the high road or it can choose to take the low road. It can choose to mainstream itself by coming up with an intelligent discourse to articulate its point of view, or it could become a mirror opposite of the various organizations that it despises and fights against. Unfortunately, viewers, many of its leaders are routinely seen taking the low, callow road. A top VHP leader and Joint Secretary, Surendra Jain, is just the latest. During a function, Mr. Jain glorified those who attacked namazis as Bajrangis, wo ghar mein ghus ke marenge. He further went on a rant against an imaginary love and land jihad by one community and warned that community to pack up and leave India. Viewers, his words reminded one of the words of organizations, Islamist organizations in Jammu and Kashmir, like the TRF, viewers. The TRF, which goes out of its way to call for the extermination of Hindus from the valley. In a dire threat, Mr. Jain vowed that he is ready to pick up arms for Dharam Raksha. First, listen to his open incitement.
जिस दिन हिंदू संकल्प के साथ खड़ा हो जाएगा कि देश में किसी विधर्मी को अखाड़ा नहीं चलाने देंगे, पूरे देश में फसाद नहीं करने देंगे, उसी दिन ये सारा का सारा विषय समाप्त हो जाएगा। हम मुसलमानों को समाप्त नहीं करना चाहते, लेकिन भारत में रहकर वो पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद के नारे लगाएं, लैंड जिहाद करें, लव जिहाद करें, ये किसी भी हालत में स्वीकार नहीं होगा। आज देश भर में 10 लाख से ज्यादा कार्यकर्ता त्रिशूल धारण करके हिंदू धर्म की रक्षा का संकल्प ले चुके हैं।
Viewers, the point is, why would the VHP go out of its way to sound more and more like those they despise? The binary that the VHP is invoking, and you just heard Mr. Jain, is of the same kind one hears from the mouth of the TRF, the Kashmiri Islamist group that asks Hindu to clear out of Kashmir. For the same reasons. It's just in reverse, viewers. Now, imagine this gets amplified internationally. This gets amplified, viewers, by the ecosystem that then begins to troll the party in power, the Prime Minister in power, for saying, you don't walk the talk on Sabka Saath. This undermines Sabka Saath, viewers, that the Prime Minister himself swears by. And let's ask some questions tonight. Sriraj Nair, national spokesperson of the VHP, Rahul Ishwar, an activist, a Hindu rights activist, is also with us. Rahul Ishwar, I'm sure that when the VHP speaks the language of some of its sworn adversaries, who we all despise, who we all prosecute, then it does A, itself no favors, it does the nation no favors, and it certainly does those in the government, especially the Prime Minister, who are calling for the de-weaponization of language to promote sabka saath no favors. Would you agree with me, or do you think I'm being oversensitive?
Absolutely, you're right, Rahul Shivshankarji. Let me be very honest. I am proud to share the surname, my first name, with you, because the introduction you gave was so wonderful. I'm a proud Hindu activist, but let me be very honest in saying, India or any other nation cannot survive without communal harmony. We have the second largest Muslim population in the world. Most of the Muslims who chose Gandhiji's India over Jinnah's Muslim. I'm very respectful of BHP. I had the privilege to participate in some of the programs of BHP, but I hope BHP leadership will come out and alienate themselves from such kind of remarks. Pujaniya Sarsang Chalak Mohan Bhagwat ji is on a mission to build Hindu-Muslim unity. He is reaching out to mosques, to madrasas. Modi ji is walking the talk on Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. In UAE, he is inaugurating a Hindu temple. And in India, we are talking about, I don't want to use any strong word, but we are speaking the language of Asruddin Owaisi Jr. or the Kashmiri extremists. See, this is not Hinduism. This is not India. This is unfortunate. And please remember one more thing. There are some issues. Forced conversions are there. There are some issues of, many hues. Let us complain to the police. Let us talk to the law. We have a very vibrant Prime Minister. We have Ajit Doval, who is a very efficient National Security Advisor. We have an entire security apparatus. Why create mistrust for Modi government? Why create mistrust against Ajit Doval ji? Why create mistrust for our establishment? I'm pained for our Muslim brothers when they hear these kind of things. They will feel bad as Indians. Please remember, let Jinnah's ideology never succeed. Jinnah believed that Hindus and Muslims cannot unite. We should not allow Jinnah's ideologies to triumph. We should allow the Hindu son, Mahatma Gandhi's ideology of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, which is effectively implemented by Modi ji. I hope Sriras Nair ji, who is a very senior and respected person, will say that these kind of remarks are not good and it is painful. And for a Muslim, it will push them to the boundary. And I am apologetic, I am sorry to the Muslim brothers for them hearing these kind of things from people like Yedi Narasimhan, okay, Sadhvi Prachi and the earlier person.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Nair. Mr. Nair, look, I know that today you're feeling slightly aggrieved by my introduction. My point is that the VHP does good work, but you have certain elements, and every political outfit has them. I'm not saying that it's only confined to the VHP. Why do you not pull them up? Why don't you come out and say that this is not acceptable? The Prime Minister has led by example recently. Rightly, wrongly, those people will be tried by the law, etc., whether they're right or wrong, but they took a principled stand. Why do you want to find yourself being bracketed, sir, with, these organizations that are barking at the fringe like the TRF, etc.? Why not today say we stand for something more? Mr. Nair, or am I today asking you the wrong question? Simple. I want to ask you, sir, do you side with reason or do you side with this horrific communal speech that incites violence? That's all.
Well, Rahul, your question is absolutely right, but I would like to clarify the issue. You rightly quoted about Kashmir. Now, we all know what happens when the demography changes. Kashmir is the only state after the partition which happened only because of religion. The Muslims of the subcontinent never wanted to stay with the Hindu brethren, and they wanted partition of the nation, and they partitioned.
But Mr. Nair,
only one state
I'm only asking you, forget about
that was Kashmir.
No, 1 second. Mr. Nair, you're not answering my question. Sir, I beg you.
What happened to the Hindus there?
I beg you.
Rahul,
I beg
what
you.
happened?
You're not answering my question. We all know, sir, I'm part of that problem. I've suffered. I'm half Kashmiri Hindu. So I know what happened. You don't have to tell me my own history. I'm only asking you, Nair Saab, won't we all become part of the problem when we start speaking like this? And do you think, just answer that question. We know the history, we know the geography, know what happens. Your concerns at some levels are valid. You might have some, but why don't you express them intelligently like you are? Not like this chap, Surendra Jain ji. This is not right.
True.
It undermines Mr. Modi's Mr. Modi, Sabka Saath, today this same speech will be used by the ecosystem to sit in Harvard and New York Times and discredit India and India's growth story. We are not China.
Rahul, let me tell you. Let me introduce Dr. Surendra Jain. He is a PhD. He is a retired principal of a college. He is not. If he has to utter this, you have to understand the kind of pain and agony he is undergoing in Mewat.
Then you see. Okay. Then Mr. Nair, let me tell you. I've run out of time. Let me tell you. If you're going to justify this, then the other side will justify their pain and say that our hate mongers have also said this because they also feel compelled. And we cannot win this argument, sir. I'm only asking you to introspect. I'm only asking you to introspect. No, 1 second. I'm only asking you to think about the larger nation, what the Prime Minister is trying to do. Mr. Jaishankar goes from one capital of India, of the world, to another, saying that India is an inclusive society, stands in the UAE with the leaders of the UAE. He goes to other Islamic nations where he says, India is a land for everyone. Sarvadharva Sambhava is what he says. You're letting this mission down. I leave it to you, sir. You might have your reasons. I don't think they are valid. I leave it at that, sir. I leave it at that. In the meantime, viewers, just a 30-second update. Manish Sisodia has been now let off. He was being questioned by the CBI. It's been almost 8 or 9 hours. I leave it at this, viewers. Those are the pictures.
The most pressing issues, the most informed minds, a free and fair exchange. Converse India with Rahul Shivshankar.
आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में नहीं हेमंत कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए जी कल राखी सावंत का he will also become बनना चाहेंगे उसको तो आप बनने नहीं देंगे आप दिमाग में सबको ऐसा डाल के रखेंगे फिल्म स्टार ही बनेगा आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में नहीं हेमंत कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए जी कल राखी सावंत का he will also become बहुत अच्छी बात है
आपका क्या विचार है इस बार? आप
मेरा विचार क्या मैं बताऊं मेरा विचार भगवान के ऊपर है लॉर्ड कृष्णा विल डू इट
तो मैं तो देश की सेवा के लिए ही पैदा हुई हूं और मैं देश की सेवा करना चाहती हूं और क्यों नहीं हमारे मोदी साहब हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी चाय बनाते बनाते प्रधानमंत्री जी पीएम बन सकते हैं तो मैं बॉलीवुड में काम करते करते सीएम क्यों नहीं बन सकती हूँ डेफिनेटली मैं बनूंगी आप सबका आशीर्वाद चाहिए तो 2024 में अब आप मुझे चुनाव लड़ते हुए देखेंगे किसके अपोजिट ये सरप्राइज है
show tonight, viewers.
National Conference Supremo Farooq Abdullah attacked the centre over targeted killings and questioned the motive behind scrapping Article 370. Further asked, why haven't killings stopped despite the abrogation? Protesters expressed their anger over the killing of Kashmiri Hindu on October 15 by defacing the All Parties Hurriyat office hoarding in Srinagar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Manish Sisodia, Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, has just left the CBI office after over 9 hours of questioning. But since morning, the capital witnessed full-scale drama that was on display. The Aam Aadmi Party turned Sisodia's questioning into quite a spectacle. Sisodia has been accused of high-level corruption in the liquor scam as the accused number one, but he was being projected as a martyr by the Aam Aadmi Party. The Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal went to great lengths to support Sisodia by equating him with revolutionary freedom fighter Bhagat Singh. Chief Minister Kejriwal said that this is the second fight for freedom and jail cannot deter his ministers and supporters. He led the Aam Aadmi Party's charge by saying jail ke taale tootenge and Sisodia chhootenge. Listen in to Arvind Kejriwal making a speech in Gujarat, Ground Zero, earlier this morning.
उन्होंने कहा गुजरात में हमारी सरकार बनेगी, गुजरात में भी गांव-गांव के अंदर, शहर के अंदर ढेर सारे स्कूल बनाएंगे। अभी उन्होंने गुजरात आना था, लेकिन आज इन लोगों ने मनीष सिसोदिया को गिरफ्तार कर लिया। वो नहीं चाहते कि मनीष सिसोदिया गुजरात में जाके चुनाव का प्रचार करें। 1 महीने तक ये मनीष सिसोदिया को गिरफ्तार करेंगे। जैसे ही 8 तारीख को नतीजे आएंगे, गुजरात में आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी, जेल के ताले टूटेंगे, मनीष सिसोदिया छूटेंगे। मैं मनीष जी को कहना चाहता हूं, आप चिंता मत करो, आपके ना आने से प्रचार बंद नहीं होने वाला। ये सारी जनता प्रचार कर रही है, घर घर जाके प्रचार कर रही है।
On the other hand, Manish Sisodia compared himself to Mahatma Gandhi. Listen in to Manish Sisodia.
मैंने इस बात को भी याद किया कि जिस तरह से बापू के खिलाफ उस वक्त की सरकार ने तरह तरह के फर्जी मुकदमे लगा के बार बार उनको जेल भेजा। मैं आज पहली बार अपने आप में वो गर्व महसूस कर रहा हूँ कि जिस तरह से हमारे देश के शहीदों ने, हमारे देश को आज़ाद कराने वाले लोगों ने देश की जनता के लिए लड़ाई लड़ी और वो जेल में गए। जिस तरह से बापू को षड्यंत्र में फंसा के अंग्रेजों की सरकार ने झूठे मुकदमे कर करके जेल में भेजा, आज मेरे ऊपर भी एक फर्जी मुकदमा करके मुझे जेल भेजने की तैयारी की जा रही है।
The CBI, on the other hand, has asked several questions about Sisodia's role in the Liquorgate scam. They've asked questions on who pocketed the 6% of the 12% cut money or commission, on whose behest was the new excise policy drafted, why wasn't the LG's permission taken before implementing the policy, and more questions that continued to face Sisodia in his 9 hours of questioning. Even as his party drew parallels with Bhagat Singh, the family of freedom fighter has objected to this comparison and asked the Aam Aadmi Party to apologize. Listen in to Harbhajan Singh Dhata, who is a relative of Bhagat Singh ji.
भगत सिंह जी जो जेल में गए थे, वो किसी करप्शन केस में नहीं गए, या किसी पर्सनल उनकी कोई ख्वाहिश नहीं थी। वो एक मुल्क के लिए गए हैं, वो आज़ादी के लिए गए, वो किसी पॉलिटिकल गेम प्राप्ति करने के लिए नहीं गए थे। अगर पॉलिटिकल प्राप्ति करनी होती तो वो फांसी पर नहीं चढ़ते। और ये बहुत मंदभागा है, एक ऐसा पोजीशन पर बैठे हुए हैं केजरीवाल साहब, इंटेलेक्चुअल हैं, उनको ऐसी बयान नहीं देनी चाहिए। आप पॉलिटिकल लड़ाई लड़िए, डेमोक्रेसी है, सभी को ये हक है कि वो अपना फाइट दें इस समय पॉलिटिकल गेम में।
The opposition has mocked Aam Aadmi Party's act of projecting Sisodia as today's Bhagat Singh. The BJP says the whole show looks like Jashn-e-Bhrashtachar, or actually a celebration of corruption. And Sisodia was raising slogans today as if he won the World Cup in corruption. Listen in to the BJP's charge.
आज ये अतिशयोक्ति नहीं होगी अगर ये कहा जाए कि ये जश्न भ्रष्टाचार है। जिस प्रकार से मनीष सिसोदिया आज एक खुले कार में अपने समर्थकों के साथ नारे लगाते हुए, फूल माला डाले हुए निकले हैं, ऐसा लग रहा है मानो कोई किला फतेह करके वापस आ रहा है। सत्याग्रह ऑन करप्शन, ये भगत सिंह का भी अपमान और महात्मा गांधी का घोर अपमान है। राहुल गांधी भी वहीं गए थे, और मनीष सिसोदिया भी वही. There's no difference, absolutely.
And that brings me to the legitimate question that we're asking on the Newshour tonight. Is the Aam Aadmi Party fighting persecution or propriety? That's the question and that's the debate. Aap Bhagat Singh analogy. That's the hashtag and the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Well, Manish Sisodia just stepping out of CBI, addressing the media. Let's listen into him.
चाह रहे थे, हम तो शिक्षा के लिए आए हैं, ईमानदारी से काम करने के लिए आए हैं। फिर मैंने साफ-साफ बोल दिया कि भैया मुझको तो खुशी मिलती है जब दिल्ली के रिक्शे वाले का बच्चा इंजीनियर बनता है, तो उसमें जो खुशी मिलती है मुझे सीएम बन के खुशी नहीं मिलती, सीएम बनने के बारे में सोच के खुशी नहीं मिलती। एक दिल्ली की मेड की बच्ची जब डॉक्टर बनती है तो मुझे खुशी मिलती है। मेरा जीवन शिक्षा को समर्पित है। मैं इस तरह के ऑपरेशन लोटस के किसी दबाव में नहीं आने वाला। इनको जो करना है करें। पूरा केस फर्जी है, कहीं दूर से दूर तक कोई सच्चाई नहीं है उसमें। कोई 1 करोड़ का 1 रुपए का कहीं कोई घोटाला नहीं हुआ। ये बीजेपी वाले कहते रहे और दबाव बनाते रहे 10,000 करोड़ का घोटाला हुआ है, कोई घोटाला नहीं हुआ। आज मुझे वहां से भी समझ में आ गया है।
Well, that was Manish Sisodia clearly saying that he has nothing to hide and there is no indication or proof of any corruption, and as usual the same allegation of them being targeted just because of a political conspiracy. So let's go across to the debate on the other side, and joining me tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, Ratan Sharda, author, Ravi Srivastav, political analyst, Sanjay Jha, author, suspended Congress leader. But my first question goes to Dr. Sumant C. Raman, political analyst. I want to ask you, Dr. Sumant C. Raman, is it now the latest trend that anybody who's called for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate or the CBI, instead of answering questions, does this whole spiel about, a rally and speeches and how they are being targeted? While I understand that, but comparing yourself to Mahatma Gandhi or Arvind Kejriwal, calling Satyendra Jain and Manish Sisodia as Bhagat Singh, is that not taking things a bit too far?
Well, I think Navika too can play this game. If the aim is to sort of cripple the Aam Aadmi Party's campaign machinery for the Gujarat elections, then the Aam Aadmi Party can do its bit to derive political mileage out of what is going on. Look, we've seen a series of AAP leaders either now in jail. Satyendra Jain, obviously he was in charge of Himachal Pradesh. What happened? He is now in jail. Subsequently, Vijay Nair, who was the communications head of AAP, he is in jail. Then they went after Amanatullah Khan. Now it is the turn of Manish Sisodia. So I think that the Aam Aadmi Party is justified in feeling persecuted, feeling under siege, and they feel that this is an opportunity to turn the tables on the BJP and try to extract political mileage from this situation. Now, very importantly, I think Manish Sisodia is hoping or was hoping that he would be arrested because that would generate a greater amount of sympathy for the Aam Aadmi Party. And clearly the Aam Aadmi Party is emerging as a force in Gujarat. Otherwise, we would not be seeing what we are seeing right now. The important thing is that I don't think at any point any of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders compared themselves, whether it is to Bhagat Singh or to Mahatma Gandhi. They were drawing a parallel, saying that if you tread the straight and narrow path which they claim to tread, then they will have to face the difficulties like those great people, whether it was Mahatma Gandhi or Bhagat Singh. So that is all that is being made. They're not equating themselves with Mahatma Gandhi or Bhagat Singh, and I think it's a ridiculous argument to even think that they are talking in terms of that. Now the point is, how long does this campaign go on? I mean, December 8th is the date of counting of votes. Hopefully, it is said. So hopefully, fingers crossed for the Aam Aadmi Party, this ordeal may come to an end by the end of November or thereabouts, once the voters have cast their ballots at some point of time in the Gujarat elections. But Manish Sisodia has faced this now for the better part of 1.5 months. Raids, bank lockers, questioning by the CBI today, 9 hours I think it was, he was questioned for 8 or 9 hours. So when does it stop? I mean, at some stage, you have
Dr.
to
Suman
identify a money
Dr.
trace.
Suman Siraman, I will get Mr. Gaurav Bhatia to answer all the points that you made about, you know, who's making political mileage out of it. But I just, before I go to Gaurav Bhatia, I just want to ask you a small question on your choice of words. Was that a slip or was that deliberate? You said the Aam Aadmi Party has decided that two can play a game. I want to ask you, investigations are a game, number one. Number two, comparisons with Bhagat Singh and Mahatma Gandhi are part of a game for you, Dr. Suman Siraman. That I find a bit shocking, because we all know what Bhagat Singh stood for. We all know what Gandhiji stood for. And for you to believe that this is part of a game and two are playing a game, I think upsets the sensibilities of people of this country. At least it does mine. I don't know about others.
It does not. What I said very clearly, and I repeat it, the Aam Aadmi Party believes that if the BJP can persecute them, or the BJP government can persecute them for showing to the people of Gujarat that they are all corrupt and so on, then they have a right to extract political mileage out of it. So
well, that's not exactly how you said it. That's not exactly how you said it. But I have a problem if you want to call this a game. If you call it a game, I have a problem with that. But Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, to the point of persecution being turned out as a political statement by the Aam Aadmi Party, which they have the right to do, respond to that charge by Dr. Suman Siraman.
Navika, let us first talk about the two perceptions that exist today. One, Aam Aadmi Party in the eyes of Aam Aadmi Party leaders and their leaders. And second, Aam Aadmi Party leaders in the eyes of the common man. So I will just compare the two. Arvind Kejriwal, in the eyes of the Papi Aap, is like Mahatma Gandhi, but in the eyes of the common man, he's the kingpin of corruption. Manish Sisodia is Bhagat Singh in the eyes of the Papi Aap, but in the eyes of the common man, he is accused number one in a corruption case being probed by ED and CBI. Satinder Jain, Kattar Imandar for Arvind Kejriwal, but in the eyes of common man, he is a Hawalabaz number one who hasn't got bail even after 5 months. Gopal Italia, for Arvind Kejriwal, he is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, but for the common man, he is Galibaz number one who abuses females, who abuses Narendra Modi ji as well as Hindus. Amanatullah Khan and Tahir Hussain are Nobel Prize laureates for Arvind Kejriwal, but for the common man, they are riot accused. Now, after saying this, the larger question today that is being raised by the Bharatiya Janata Party is this, that if you have committed an act of corruption, today why this political drama? And if you say that you are being falsely implicated due to political vendetta, this one question needs to be answered. The FIR was registered 2 months back. 2 months' time is adequate time for Manish Sisodia to move the court and get the FIR quashed on this ground. Why didn't he do that? Question number two, if the excise policy was so good, why did you withdraw the excise policy? Question number three, why is it that you waived off 144 crores? Because there was a quid pro quo, you were getting kickbacks. Question number four, which is very important, there were notices sent by the excise department Why have you not taken action against these companies? Question number 5. Why were the AAP leaders beneficiaries who were given various tenders and excise shops? Can you answer that? Any of the questions, and then we can take forward this debate.
Well, you want to respond to those questions, Mr. Ravi Srivastava?
Navika, can I answer some of those?
I'll come back to you, Suman.
I'll respond. The BJP spokesperson, first of all, BJP has no moral right to even name Mahatma Gandhi, and their principal party. The person who killed Mahatma Gandhi who belonged to that party, that particular group. So they have no right to even name Mahatma Gandhi for that matter. Second thing is, all these questions are in the realm of speculation. BJP can just write all those questions 150 times and keep it folded and keep it in their refrigerator because they have got no relevance. No such question has been asked by the CBI till date. You also showed in the start of the show that CBI asked these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and all. My sources tell me that no such question was asked. And Manish Sisodia has himself spoken before camera and stated that what he was doing, he was feeling very happy about it, and that Delhi girl becoming a doctor or Delhi boy becoming an engineer, which he wants to carry to Gujarat as well. This is what his agenda. And that's it. He has clearly stated that this is a fake case. Absolutely. No money trail proof, no quid pro proof, no charges proved yet.
Can I respond?
No proof means there are no charges yet because CBI has not published any piece of paper where they have said that these are the charges. So I don't find that there is any worth of replying these things. BJP can keep their questions in their cold storage as long as they want it.
Can I respond?
Gaurav Bhatia, please respond.
Yeah. You know, look at the answer from a sympathizer of the Aam Aadmi Party. When I asked them the question that the people of the entire country are asking, that Manish Sisodia, if he feels that he has been targeted politically, Navika, why doesn't he move the court and get the charges quashed? And the answer to this question is that this is in the realm of speculation. I don't know what he means by that. I think he should have moved the court. But the problem is, Navika, even Arvind Kejriwal knows that all of them are corrupt. They tried to loot the people of Delhi. Now they are caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and therefore they're trying to not move the court but play out this political drama. Second, why are you actually exerting so much of pressure on the investigating agency? If you're truly honest, face the questions. Why this drama of giving a speech, a road show, which has been a failure? Third, comparing yourself to Bhagat Singh Ji. Let me tell you this very clearly. A corrupt person has no entitlement even to talk about Bhagat Singh Ji, leave alone being compared to Bhagat Singh Ji. And why are you now rushing to the Rajghat? Mahatma Gandhi's portrait does not find a place in the Punjab Chief Minister's office. His portrait has been removed, Navika. But today, for convenient politics, they decided to go to the Rajghat, remembering Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi would be, sad today to even see. His soul would be sad that these corrupt people are coming to my Samadhi. Why are you coming, bhai? Why? Why are you remembering Mahatma Gandhi?
Extremely ironic, and let me get in Sanjay Jha before I get in Mr. Ratan Sharda. Sanjay Jha, ironic that Mahatma Gandhi is remembered for what? For liquor scam. And you know, Mahatma Gandhi and his, even October 2nd is, a dry day across the country, and Gujarat is a dry state. But Mahatma Gandhi is being, invoked for liquor scam, number one. Number two, I want to ask you, 28th of September, did you hear any place in India where Aam Aadmi Party paid their respects or had any rally for Bhagat Singh? That was his birth anniversary. Nobody did. पर आज वही महात्मा गांधी, वही भगत सिंह और वही शराब की कहानी. I want to ask you, between the Congress, between the Aam Aadmi Party, have we now decided that political battles will be fought through the shoulders of agencies which have to face and put everything in the domain of the courts? If Satyendra Jain has been in jail for 140 days, it's because the courts haven't given him bail. How can you then blame this on political vendetta when the courts are hearing this matter virtually every now and then? I want to ask you this question.
Navika, good evening. I think very pertinent points. First and foremost, it has to be stated that it's absolutely ridiculous and preposterous to actually try and bring in a political mileage by invoking Mahatma Gandhi and Bhagat Singh. I mean, it's absolutely contemptible in my opinion, and shows up as a very desperate political forum. And I understand they have a crisis, but that's not the way to kind of extract some kind of capital out of it. The second point is what my friend Sumant mentioned, that at the moment, if there is a corruption charge and there is a political party that wants to extract mileage out of it in Gujarat, it also tells you about the state of politics in India, that if you're accused of corruption, that can actually become an electoral asset. Anywhere else in the world, people will say, are we a banana republic or what? That tomorrow, if you're accused of a crime or if you're, kind of got some serious kind of allegations against you, if that becomes some kind of a marketing weapon, then I think that's a very unfortunate state of Indian politics. But there are two issues on which we need a clear answer. And I think that's where Indian politics really gets defined. Number one, if AAP's accusation is true, that the BJP is using its authoritarian powers, its autocratic tendencies of late, to use the law enforcement agencies to harass politicians, that is a very poor reflection on the BJP. And for a ruling party, it's important that that's not the perception you carry, because all opposition parties have indeed felt an incessant heat of what we call as the CBI ED culture. On the other hand, if Mr. Sisodia is indeed corrupt, then this is what got to be the most hypocritical farce that we are witnessing.
But even that, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi have done the same theatrics every time the ED called them for questioning. So why are you behaving so holier than thou when it comes to the Aam Aadmi Party?
Well, let me explain that. The simple reason, Navika, is this, that it's there on record, we can all see it in the public domain, that the conviction rates of the CBI, of the ED in the high-profile cases, we're not talking about petty cases, is abysmally low, which is why it is accused, and I think in my opinion very correctly so, of becoming a tool or an instrument of political intimidation. And that is something for any ruling government. The Congress has had to face the heat on it, and the BJP will have to answer as well, and the public are watching. I mean, they're wondering, why is it that the BJP politicians are as pure as running water, but all other political creatures in the country...
Okay, so let me ask the contrary question to Mr. Ratan Sharda. Well, maybe everybody is not so pure, but the question is, look at the track record of the Aam Aadmi Party, since it's a debate on the Aam Aadmi Party tonight. Jitendra Tomar, Farzi degree, and that case everybody remembers. Vijay Singla had to be removed, as they say in Hindi, Juma 4 दिन हुए थे मंत्री बने पंजाब में, and he had to be removed because commission being demanded was the charge against him. Asim Ahmad Khan, again removed by Mr. Kejriwal himself because he was taking some gratification from some builders, and Kejriwal said at that time that he received a video and he took the decision to throw him out. And then Amanatullah Khan went to court, went to jail and came out. Satyendra Jain, last 140 days in jail, despite several hearings for bail, hasn't been able to come out. So I'm asking you, why question the issue about Manish Sisodia if there is nothing? And if the BJP is concocting this because of Gujarat elections, as the Aam Aadmi Party says, then Manish Sisodia will walk out free sooner than later. इतना हंगामा क्यों है?
First of all, my sympathies with AAP sympathizers that Manish Sisodia has been released. I mean, he was never arrested, but he's free now. So all their entire game plan since morning to create a martyr out of Mr. Sisodia has gone waste. I pity them. Secondly, people say Irani died at southern deaths. Today, Irani actually committed suicide. When you go to the memorial of Mahatma Gandhi, who was against alcohol and drinking, you have a person who actually expanded the scope of drinking, encouraged drinking, made drink available at every nook and corner, made special packages of Tetra packs so everybody can pick up like Coke and drink it. That is the kind of person who goes to Rajghat, where they never went. That's the irony of the entire thing. Coming to the issue of victimhood, if you say that there is election, that's why it's happening. We have elections every 6 months. So no case should take place, no arrest should be made, no corruption charges should be put on anybody because there is election. And when you talk about this corruption case, what is the case basically? Case is you decrease the margin of the people, that is taxation. You increase the margin of profiteers who sell liquor. You had a cartel of people who manufacture also sell. You reduce number of sellers to some favorites. You did the same in Punjab. And now today you say that no, we are doing justice. So answer, they have never answered the question why they decrease their own share, why they increase liquor mafia's share, why did they change the policy and again took away the policy. Coming to their holier than thou attitude. You remember there is a gentleman who said, I have got 360 pages charge sheet against Miss Sheila Dixit. Anybody remembers? Do you remember that there is no Lokpal in Punjab despite months of government in Punjab? Do you remember it took them months together to put a Lokpal in place in Delhi? Do you remember the same man today is acting holier than thou, that he's a minister, not just minister? He could resign from excise minister, right? He can do his education. Who stopped him? So this person who was holier than thou, these people did not allow the Lok Sabha to pass a Lokpal bill. Sanjay Jha is there because the Prime Minister was not included in the Lokpal bill. Today the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister of a mayor level Delhi state wants special treatment for themselves. Entire game is so stupid. You talk of Bhagat Singh, you said farzi case tha Mahatma Gandhi pe. Did Mahatma Gandhi ever have a farzi case? Mahatma Gandhi invited cases on himself. He went to jail voluntarily, and आप बोलते हैं कि वो तो फर्जी केस थे. You are saying that हमारा हाल भगत सिंह जैसा है. Bhagat Singh fought against colonial powers. Are you saying that we have colonial powers in India, so they have no faith in our constitution? These are the issues. Actually, this is a light-hearted comedy if you look at the other side. Only because the name of Gandhiji and Bhagat Singh is taken, you are talking so seriously. Actually, entire tamasha has fallen apart.
Well, I want to ask you, Dr. Sumansi Raman. Dr. Sumansi Raman, the first part of the statement made by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal this morning was, जेल के ताले टूटेंगे, सिसोदिया जी छूटेंगे. अरे भाई, किसने अरेस्ट किया? छूटेंगे कैसे? अरेस्ट ही नहीं किया है. And he actually said from the stage of rally in Gujarat, he said that he has been arrested. I just want to know, is it the fear that he is going to be arrested that was being spoken about, or was it really misleading to say that he has been arrested when he actually hasn't been, and he is back home today possibly having dinner with his family?
Kejriwal is justified in expecting Mr. Sisodia to be arrested because his own cabinet colleague Satyendra Jain has been arrested.
There is a difference. You may expect him to be arrested, but to say that he has already been arrested.
Has been arrested. So therefore, no, that is incorrect.
No, Mr. Raman,
he should not have said he's already been arrested.
Okay, I want to replay. I want to replay the soundbite. No. You've challenged me on a fact. Now listen.
I did not interrupt you.
No, you did not, but you have questioned me on a matter of fact. I want to replay the soundbite of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal before we go any forward on this debate. Arvind Kejriwal's what he said today early morning in Gujarat.
उन्होंने कहा गुजरात में हमारी सरकार बनेगी, गुजरात में भी गांव-गांव के अंदर, शहर के अंदर ढेर सारे स्कूल बनाएंगे. अभी उन्होंने गुजरात आना था, लेकिन आज इन लोगों ने मनीष सिसोदिया को गिरफ्तार कर लिया। वो नहीं चाहते कि मनीष सिसोदिया गुजरात में जाके चुनाव का प्रचार करें। 1 महीने तक ये मनीष सिसोदिया को गिरफ्तार करेंगे।
वो आज आने वाले थे गुजरात, पर आज इन्होंने उनको गिरफ्तार कर लिया। Now, if you understand Hindi as I do, he has been arrested, is what was said.
I understand Hindi, Navika. Factually, that is inaccurate on the part of Kejriwal to have said that.
All right.
But to expect him to be arrested, Mr. Sisodia himself has been saying that for the last 15 days. He says, I'm going
but
to be arrested.
He also said that Operation Lotus was happening and he was asked to leave the Aam Aadmi Party and join the BJP. And he said he had proof and sound recordings which we haven't seen for 1.5 months.
Well, if we are going into the specifics of the charges politically being made, I think Sanjay Jha made this point about me saying that I was pointing out that corruption charges make somebody electable. Not at all. It is the sympathy that comes from a perceived persecution or an unfair accusation that generates the sympathy. That is why Mr. Sisodia wants to be arrested. Maybe that's why he has not gone to the Supreme Court. One other very important point. There was also this mention about...
But you've answered the point. You've answered the point, Dr. Suman C. Raman. And let me get in Gaurav Bhatia. Gaurav Bhatia, Suman C. Raman has had to admit that Sisodia was not arrested and a false claim was made in Gujarat by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Number one. Number two, so far we don't have a proof on BJP trying to get Sisodia to join their party. So what do you make of this persecution that is being converted into an opportunity?
Navika, I think when the results are declared, we'll come to know whether it fetched any fruits for the Papi Aap or not. And we are very sure that the Bharatiya Janata Party will yet again win both Himachal as well as Gujarat. And Aam Aadmi Party during the last assembly elections in Gujarat got a dismally low 0.05% of the votes. This time I think it would be further reduced. But look at the double standards of these parties in the opposition, and let me cite 2 examples. One, for Vijay Singla, whom you mentioned, the Punjab health minister, he was sacked and Arvind Kejriwal came out and said that only allegations are enough. We received a complaint, he is corrupt, we sack him. Why is the same yardstick not applied for Manish Sisodia is the question that everyone is asking. Second, when National Herald case was being probed, the Congress was protesting and Aam Aadmi Party was saying that yes, action should be taken, ED is doing the right thing. Congress said no, this is political vendetta. Today it's just the opposite. Aam Aadmi Party is crying foul. They are saying this is political vendetta, and the Congress spokespersons are saying ED is doing its job. This means that ED is actually doing his job well and these people are corrupt, and that is how they change the yardstick. Third, Sanjay Jha ji just said the conviction rate is very low. Sanjay bhai, for the CBI, the agency that is probing Manish Sisodia, the conviction rate is 67%. So please get your facts right. And regarding using the name of Mahatma Gandhi ji, Navika, Arvind Kejriwal was not even there to pay tribute to Mahatma Gandhi ji on 2nd of October this year. And the LG had written a very strong letter to him that you could not even fulfill your constitutional obligation. So they like to use the credibility and the name of our national heroes, but only to their advantage and if it suits their political needs, and they have no reverence or respect for Bhagat Singh ji, Mahatma Gandhi ji.
Response, Sanjay Jha. Response, Sanjay Jha.
Well, you know, interestingly, I partly agree with Gaurav and partly don't. But let me tell you where I first find that he's factually incorrect. The data on the CPI that you're quoting, Gaurav, actually represents a lot of petty cases also that CBI handled. We are talking about cases of political harassment, but the CBI's track record is absolutely
Sanjay, very bad.
Anyway, let me finish.
No.
On ED,
in your time,
when
when the Congress government was in power, did you have a separate percentage of conviction rate for petty cases and separate one for big cases? And who are big and who are petty in the eyes of the law? I want to ask you, Sanjay Jha, is there an entitlement culture even within the conviction rates of people who are accused of corruption? Usme bhi entitlement hai?
Yes, let me tell you, Navika, ED's conviction rate, as we all know, is around 2%, which is terrible. It's an embarrassment.
Can I tell you? Would you want to pick up the Enforcement Directorate's track record up until 2014 and then now? Would you want to pick it up and then split it into two time segments, sir?
Well, let me tell you, it actually gets even worse. It actually even gets worse after Mr. Modi's become Prime Minister. Gaurav, don't interrupt me. I'm just going to take a couple of seconds, not too long. As far as the CBI case is concerned, kindly investigate the details. It's a fully researched report that if you take the CBI's entire cases, many of them actually don't have the kind of scale of, shall we say, harassment that we're talking about. And then its track record goes to 6%. Otherwise, it's pretty dismal and awful. But the larger point, Navika, that we need to understand here is the Aam Aadmi Party's past track record is actually, this shoot and scoot, story on which their whole political story is based is now coming to haunt them. Their credibility is at all-time low, and nobody really believes their hollow defense. And even when they are credible, nobody is buying into their entire tale. As far as the BJP is concerned, let me tell you, Gaurav, you like it or not, you have destroyed institutions of governance in the country. And the Supreme Court and the High Courts have commented on the way you arrest people, on the way you have used UAPA and the citizen law to target journalists, the NGOs, anybody who basically is critical of you.
All right.
That's documented. I don't think you never asked for that.
All right. So let me get in Ratan Sharda. Ratan Sharda, is it a coincidence that there are no cases against BJP leaders and there are only cases against the opposition? Is there some truth to that charge that the opposition always makes?
That's the question that BJP representatives should be answering. Not me, because they are in the government. I am not in the government.
No, but don't you? But as a citizen of this country, doesn't that strike you as odd?
As a sympathizer.
But then, if you look at the track record, every government, their own people are not really investigated seriously. That is the blunt truth. Whether it's Congress or AAP or anybody.
No. What about those who were accused of corruption by BJP?
Who
then joined the BJP? Excuse me, Mr. Ratan Sharda. What about those accused of corruption by BJP who joined the BJP subsequently? What about Y.S. Chowdhury? What about Narayan Rane? What about Himanta?
That's the point. It doesn't make it any less serious. It doesn't make it any less serious just because there are no cases against the BJP, Dr. Sumant Raman. The fact is that cases against opposition leaders, and if they stand in a court of law, that is the test. And Gaurav Bhatia, conviction rate percentages, or the fact that BJP doesn't have any investigation against them, all of these keep coming up. Do you think it is actually a game, as Sumant Raman started this debate by saying, a game that is now being played only between political parties, whereas for the Aam Aadmi on the street, the citizen of this country, the law doesn't seem to have any of these flexibilities as political parties seem to think it has for them, whether they are in the opposition or in the government. How do you respond to that?
Navika, I respond with the responsibility, and I want to say just because there would be elections in 2 states doesn't mean the investigating agencies would not do their job. They have to continue with the investigation, and if anybody is aggrieved, he can move the court, and that question posed by me remains unanswered. Second, when I spoke about CBI, very high conviction rate, Sanjay Bhai, he changed the goalpost. But I must tell him that he was talking about ED. And Sanjay Bhai, these are the numbers for you. ED has done a tremendous job also with the conviction rate that you were talking. Don't forget, there are 992 trials that are going on. When decided, they will also raise the number of the conviction. Second, the provisional attachment done by the ED amounts to 1,04,702 crores. There are 739 provisional attachment orders, and believe me, the Supreme Court has never reprimanded our government saying that CBI is a cage parrot. That happened only during the UPA government.
Well,
third,
and as they say,
destroying institutions,
you know, whatever be the charges, whatever be the allegations, whatever be the hit back politically, the fact of the matter is, it's business as usual. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has just tweeted that Manish Sisodia will be back on the election trail in Gujarat starting tomorrow. So, well, as they say, life goes on. And what happens? What about answers to the public's questions? Well, as always, we'll be waiting for a long time because elections are on, investigations are on, and a game of political chess is currently on between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on debate number 1. On the other side, the final leg of Congress's Game of Thrones has ended with as many as 9,000 members casting their vote to decide the next Congress president. A contest between Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor. Many call it a battle between a loyalist and a reformist. And on the day of voting, Shashi Tharoor dropped a bombshell, acknowledging that he was never the favorite of his colleagues or even the party's high command. He said that the odds were stacked against him as the party leaders and establishment were overwhelmingly with the other candidate. On the other hand, Mallikarjun Kharge has validated what the critics have been saying all along, that he is just a rubber stamp fielded by the Gandhis. The veteran leader said that he will not hesitate to take advice from the Gandhis to run the party if he's elected as their boss in the party. Listen in to how the contenders pitch themselves ahead of the counting.
And that would involve much more decentralization of authority, a greater increase in consultative mechanisms within the party, fix the structural and organizational deficiencies that have so far impeded our recent efforts. She doesn't want to take sides in this election. She really wants the party to find its own leader. And I believe that's genuinely the case. So if she wanted to continue to remote control the party, she need not have put the party through this exercise. And I don't believe, therefore, that the cynics are right.
They are the main players in Congress. And it is my duty to take advice, take suggestions and experience. And if I don't take suggestions, experience, a person who has worked in the party for 20 years as a president, and she is responsible to bring the government back. So, ये लोग कहना कि ये गांधी फैमिली के साथ है या गांधी फैमिली के कैंडिडेट हैं, ये सब झूठ है.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining Gaurav Bhatia and Sanjay Jha on the panel tonight is Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst and Congress supporter. And Tehseen, let me begin with you. Did it seem like an election to you? Because Shashi Tharoor said that my leaders and people who run the party have been overwhelmingly with the Mallikarjun Kharge, and I'm merely somebody who's taking part in a race for tomorrow so that history can judge him. So I want to ask you, ये कौन सी democracy है?
नहीं, democracy is Nadda ji.
And democracy is Naddaji taking independent decisions. And democracy is Naddaji's election. This is not an election because, of course, Mallikarjun Kharge, who's 10 times elected, is not worthy. And perhaps because he comes from the SC community, is that why the attacks on him? Is that why the attacks on him?
You know, Tehseen, I think you're getting confused. You're talking about 10 times winning elections, then that is elections, you know, to the parliament. Here we are talking about elections to the Congress president's post.
So then is it not democracy? Somebody can choose who they want to be their president. Ye Nadda ji kaun se election jeet kar hai? Your 9,000 delegates independently, verifiably have chosen who will be their president, and 19 the result will come out. And you're saying that's not election. And Nadda ji ka election is election. Wow, wow, Modi ji, wow, wow, Modi ji, wow. That is what Modi ji, that's the funny line of Kulnal Kapoor.
Gaurav Bhatia, you want to respond to Tehseen?
Navika, Tehseen would never understand the arguments that we will make, the common perception that people have for the Congress party, because they're completely intoxicated right now. They can only think about the Gandhi Parivar, and even if we show them the right path, they will criticize us. But I must ask Tehseen, Ashok Gehlot was to be one of the candidates, unofficially official. What happened? He didn't file the papers after he decided not to obey the president of your party, Sonia Gandhi. Second, is it not true in the last 24 years, Congress party has seen president only from one family, two members, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. BJP has seen 8 presidents, and that too, they're not from the same family. They're different people who have earned their place through sheer hard work, through their commitment, not because of their last name. And I must say that when Kharge ji says, I learn from their experience, Navika, the message is simple. Whoever occupies this chair would be at the mercy of the Gandhi Parivar. He will have to abide by what Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi say, just the way Manmohan Singh ji used to ensure that all confidential files are dispatched to the house of Sonia Gandhi when he was the Prime Minister, and then they were approved by Sonia Gandhi, and Manmohan Singh ji was only a rubber stamp. That tradition will continue in the Congress.
Well, I want to ask you, Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, is this a democratic election? Because there is, of course, Shashi Tharoor who said what he said. There is Karti Chidambaram who came out and said, he said there are rumors that are being floated to keep Shashi Tharoor behind. And, you know, these rumors are not working well. Who was spreading these rumors, Sanjay Jha? Also, once again, there was Shashi Tharoor who went on and said the odds have been stacked against us as the party leaders and establishment were overwhelmingly with the other candidate. And he also tweeted that this is think tomorrow, think Tharoor, choose change, choose Congress. And he said that, you know, he was doing this more so that history can remember at least one democratic fight 20 years after the last time Jitendra Prasad, you know, stood against Sonia Gandhi. Is this really democracy?
Well, Navika, I cannot deny that for the Congress, this is a massive missed opportunity. When you're bringing change, you can't do it in an incremental, you can't just tinker and make cosmetic noises. You need to be spectacular, extraordinary, earth-shaking. And here was an opportunity, and I said it publicly, and I will say so on your show as well, that both Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi should have publicly articulated to the Congress delegates, to the Congress workers, to the Congress supporters, that vote on your conscience. And there is nobody who's a family-sponsored candidate. That would have actually given a lot of credibility, because today when the BJP or anybody for that matter, who's actually raising, you know, cynical voices or skeptical about the outcome of the election, they are absolutely justified. Shashi, I know him pretty well. I can tell you that he has felt extremely, shall we say, you know, perturbed by the very discriminatory response from state units to when he arrived there for campaigning vis-a-vis Mr. Kharge. And that is definitely not transparent. I need to be very clear on it. And I agree with Gaurav to some extent that the BJP has had leaders from different leaders over the last decade and so on and so forth. The Congress had a chance today to actually upstage the BJP, actually have a proper election, not somebody chosen by Nagpur or the RSS. And secondly, make sure that it is done in a way that it inspires confidence. I'll repeat once again, it's a missed opportunity. And I think today the Congress is one party that
now
should have stepped
here's
out
somebody who's been an insider, and there is Shashi Tharoor who said disappointed but not disheartened. Tehseen, ab bhi bologe ye democratic hai?
This is the most free, fair, democratic election when 9,000 people voted with verifiable votes tracked by QR codes. Now, if people choose one leader over another, you are saying that's not democracy. Today, I had at 9 o'clock another show to attend. I chose your show. Is that not democracy?
No,
that is democracy.
this show is the best show.
But the BJP,
so you made the right choice. This is the best show, so you made the right choice. Ajib kya? People who have been insiders say this is a missed opportunity. Gaurav Bhatia, 10 seconds, Gaurav Bhatia, one-liner to Tehseen Poonawalla.
See, I chose you over another show.
Yes.
That's just my loyalty and my love for the show.
I would only say that Tehseen was free to choose the show where he wanted to be. But Navika, imagine if somebody from the Congress party would have said, no, you go to the other show only. So same is the condition for the Congress party, that there might be two candidates, but none of them is free. Both are controlled by Sonia Gandhi through a remote control.
Well, whichever way you look at it, the point is people choose and get what they choose. You chose Newshour, Tehseen Poonawalla, and people will compliment you for the choice you made. Well, let's see what the Congress chooses and then lives with it to see the change that they hope to make or whether it was the right decision to make. We leave it at that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And let's not wait for the 19th of October to know. We all know Mallikarjun Kharge will be the next Congress president. No suspense there at all. Thank you for joining me. Good night. Be safe.
You were watching the News Hour at 9. Stay tuned.
The most pressing issues, the most informed minds, a free and fair exchange. Converse India with Rahul Shivshankar.
आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में।
नहीं हेमा मालिनी।
वेरी गुड। कन्हैया जी ने भक्त जंगल की कल राखी सावंत का देंगे। He will also become. बनने नहीं देंगे। आप दिमाग में सबको ऐसा डाल के रखेंगे फिल्म स्टार ही बनेगा। आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में। नहीं हेमा मालिनी। वेरी गुड। कन्हैया जी ने भक्त जंगल की कल राखी सावंत का देंगे। He will also become. बहुत अच्छी बात है।
आपका क्या विचार है इस बार? आप
मेरा विचार क्या मैं बताऊं? मेरा विचार भगवान के ऊपर है। लॉर्ड कृष्णा विल डू इट।
हुई हूँ और मैं देश की सेवा करना चाहती हूँ और क्यों नहीं हमारे मोदी साहब, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी चाय बनाते बनाते प्रधानमंत्री जी पीएम बन सकते हैं, तो मैं बॉलीवुड में काम करते करते सीएम क्यों नहीं बन सकती हूँ? डेफिनेटली मैं बनूंगी, आप सबका आशीर्वाद चाहिए। तो 2024 में अब आप मुझे चुनाव लड़ते हुए देखेंगे, किसके अपोजिट, ये सरप्राइज है।
The News Hour at 9.
National Conference Supremo Farooq Abdullah attacked the centre over targeted killings and questioned the motive behind scrapping Article 370. Further asked, why haven't killings stopped despite the abrogation? Protesters expressed their anger over the killing of Kashmiri Hindu on October 15 by defacing the All Parties Hurriyat office hoarding in Srinagar. Ahead of Gujarat Assembly polls, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched distribution of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana Ayushman cards via video conferencing. As the construction of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple continues, Prime Minister Modi is likely to celebrate Deepotsav in Ayodhya. The Enforcement Directorate attaches 28 immovable properties and other assets worth 80.65 crore rupees owned by TRS MP Nama Nageshwar Rao and his family in a case related to alleged irregularities in the construction of the Ranchi Expressway.
You were watching the News Hour at 9. Stay tuned.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You are watching the News Hour Agenda. My name is Pranesh Kumar Roy. Former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah, who is the face of the Latvian ecosystem, someone who is considered an important stakeholder in the peace process today, has revealed his true self. Farooq Abdullah has said that the killings, by which he meant targeted killings, will not stop in the valley until justice is served. The National Conference chief asked why the situation had not improved despite the abrogation of Article 370. And in the process, Farooq Abdullah actually went on to justify, legitimize and provide a cause to the Islamist jihad. Listen to what he said. That's our debate.
सर टारगेट किलिंग लगातार कश्मीर में हो रही है सर, अभी भी कल 2 दिन पहले जो है कश्मीरी पंडित,
ये कभी बंद नहीं होगा जब तक इंसाफ नहीं होगा, कभी बंद नहीं होगा। और इसको बंद करने के लिए जितनी भी शोर करते हैं,
ये कहते हैं
कि जहाँ बहुत सब कहते थे पहले 370 से ये हो रहा, आज तो 370 नहीं है, मेरी क्यों मृत्यु हो रही है, इसके जिम्मेदार कौन है बताइए मुझे।
दुनिया में बताया जा रहा है कि हालात हमने बेहतर कर दिए,
अगर वो बेहतर कर दिए तो फिर फटेह बेचारा मारा नहीं जाता, कहाँ है हालत बेहतर, मुझे तो नहीं दिखता।
Protests erupted in Srinagar today against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit Puran Krishan Bhatt. A group of people carrying national flags removed the signboard of the All India Hurriyat Conference at Rajbagh in Srinagar and threatened to hold protest outside the Pakistani embassy in the national capital. Puran Krishan Bhatt was killed near his residence in Shopian when terrorists opened fire. He was rushed to a hospital where doctors declared him brought dead. The BJP has slammed Farooq for his comments.
शायद डॉक्टर फारूक अब्दुल्ला साहब वो मंजर जब घरों से निकलना कश्मीर में मुश्किल होता था उसको भूल गए हैं, और आतंकवादियों पर कड़ा प्रहार भी मोदी सरकार ने किया है। आज ढूंढ कर सेना और पुलिस इन आतंकवादियों का सफाया कर रही है। जिस तरीके से उनका सफाया हो रहा है वो सीधा जंग भारतीय सेना और हमारी पुलिस से आतंकवादी लड़ नहीं सकते, इसलिए सॉफ्ट टारगेट्स को ढूंढकर निशाना बनाते हैं। ये दौर भी खत्म हो जाएगा।
नहीं, वो देख लीजिए आप, लोग इतने परेशान हैं, उनको जबरदस्ती श्रीनगर में भेजा जाता है, वो अनसेफ हैं, उनकी किलिंग की जाती है, वो मारे जाते हैं, घरों के घर खाली हो रहे हैं। ये तो 370 जाने से ये बोलते थे कि सारी बाग दिखाते थे दूध की नदियाँ बहेंगी, वो तो हमने कहीं देखा नहीं है, उल्टी लोगों को मारा जा रहा है। ये तो टोटल फेल है।
Hours after Farooq Abdullah's genocide justification, kin of Puran Krishan Bhatt have slammed Farooq. Family members say it's only the poor people who die and not politicians like him.
कोई फारूक अब्दुल्ला के घर का नहीं मरा है, जिसके घर का कोई मरता है उसको पता है उस पे क्या बीत रही है, इन बच्चों पे क्या बीत रही है। इस टाइम हम उनकी तरफ देख नहीं पा रहे हैं, उनकी तरफ नजर नहीं मिला पा रहे हैं हम लोग।
कोई पॉलिटिशियन कोई पॉलिटिशियन का कोई नहीं मरता ना, मरते तो गरीब लोग हैं, मरते तो ये आम लोग हैं।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's open it up. Joining us, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Lalit Ambardar, activist, Bashir Ahmed, Senior Leader of the National Conference, Majid Haidari completes the panel. Good evening to all of you. Bashir Ahmed, let me begin by asking you, what does it mean when Farooq says targeted killings will not stop till justice is done?
देखिए, फारूक साहब ने ये किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बयान दिया है। कोई भी आदमी जो है वो जो किलिंग्स को अप्रिशिएट नहीं कर सकता है, और हम जिसकी इस किलिंग की जितनी निंदा करें वो कम है। मगर सवाल यह है कि हाल ही में होम मिनिस्टर साहब जब जम्मू कश्मीर में आए थे, उन्होंने कहा कि हमने तो मिलिटेंसी ख़त्म कर दी है। अगर मिलिटेंसी ख़त्म हो गई है तो फिर ये किलिंग्स क्यों हो रही हैं? बीजेपी के इस दौर में जो मिलिटेंसी सेलेक्टिव किलिंग हो रही है, बीजेपी इसके लिए जिम्मेदार है। सवाल यह है कि अब कौन मरता है कौन नहीं मरता है, जब जिस घर का कोई मरता है वही जानता है। और ये 25वीं किलिंग है जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर आज, ये जो कल हुई है, तो इसको हर एक आदमी कंडेम करता है। लेकिन सवाल यह है कि 5 अगस्त 2019 को जब इस रियासत का टुकड़े कर दिए गए, यूनियन टेरिटरी बनाई, आज जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर हर तबका परेशान है, चाहे वो जम्मू है, चाहे कठुआ है, चाहे सांबा है, चाहे वे कश्मीर का कोई हिस्सा है। उन चीज़ों को ये एड्रेस नहीं कर रहे हैं। और दूसरा यह है कि ऊपर से बयान के ऊपर बयान दे रहे हैं।
बशीर अहमद साहब,
और जब बयान के ऊपर बयान दे रहे हैं तो ये जो ब्यूरोक्रेटिक
बशीर साहब, आपने ये कहा कि जो मरता है उसी को पता होता है, उनके घर वालों को पता होता है। आपको ये तो पता होगा कि मारता कौन है?
हाँ,
ब्लडशेड के पीछे कौन है, मार कौन रहा है?
देखिए बात यह है कि जो भी मारता है उसका कोई धर्म नहीं है।
नहीं कौन मारता है बता तो दीजिए।
32 साल से भुगत रहे हैं। नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस ने बहुत, मेरी बात सुन लीजिए ना, जो मारने वाला है उसका कोई धर्म नहीं है।
नहीं कौन है मारने वाला है? अगर है नहीं तो आपको डर क्यों लग रहा है बोलने में? कौन है मारने वाला?
गणेश नहीं, पहली बात यह है कि हम मारने वाले को ढूंढना तो गवर्नमेंट का काम है, हम क्यों ढूंढे उसको?
आपको पता नहीं है कौन मार रहा है?
गवर्नमेंट जो है,
आपको पता नहीं है कश्मीरी हिंदूज को किसने भगाया?
वो क्यों नहीं ढूंढते?
किसने मारा?
मुझे नहीं मालूम है। मेरी बात सुन लीजिए ना, मैंने बात सुन लीजिए। 32 साल से हम भुगत रहे हैं ना इस सब सिस्टम को। 32 साल से नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के कितने मरे उसको याद नहीं करते आप? क्या नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के कितने लोगों ने कुर्बानी दी है? आपको यह मालूम नहीं है कि नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के कितने लोगों ने कुर्बानी दी है?
मुझे तो सब पता है, मेरे पास तो पूरा लिस्ट है। अगर मैं लिस्ट पढ़ना शुरू करूंगा तो फिर आप जवाब नहीं दे पाएंगे बशीर साहब। लेकिन आप देखिए, आपसे मैंने एक सीधा सवाल पूछा कि मारता कौन है?
सुन लीजिए।
नहीं, मारता कौन है आप उसी का जवाब नहीं दे पा रहे हैं ना। संजू वर्मा, बिफोर आई ब्रिंग यू इन, लेट्स पुट दिस इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट बिफोर आई ब्रिंग। नो एक मिनट बशीर साहब, आप सुनिए, बाकी लोग भी हैं। ललित अंबरदार, वुड यू प्लीज एनलाइटन बशीर अहमद, who are the people who are behind this bloodshed?
Listen, what Farooq Abdullah has spewed today is obnoxious. I am not surprised, neither I am shocked, because Abdullahs and Muftis are the original Islamists of Kashmir. They are responsible for fueling Kashmir Jihad. In fact, they are the on-ground political face of Pakistan-sponsored Kashmir Jihad. And they will do what suits their akas in Rawalpindi. Have you ever heard of, from Farooq Abdullah or Mehbooba Mufti or their followers in their party who come on your channel ever speak a word against Kashmiri jihadists? Ever speak a word against Pakistan? Never. Because Pakistan se rishta kya la ilaha illallah. And now coming to Farooq Abdullah, this representative of NC says, हमें क्या मालूम, जिनकी सरकार है, जिनके अंदर मर रहे हैं, तो उनको this is callous insensitivity towards Hindus, because Hindu lives do not matter. But I will remind him, the most of the mass massacres of Kashmiri Hindus happened when Farooq Abdullah was the chief minister. And I'm not surprised again, because this coward chief minister, so-called elected chief minister, abandoned Kashmiri Hindus to the mercy of Pakistani jihadists when he abdicated his responsibilities on 19th of January 1990. This is Farooq Abdullah. And again reminding them, when they keep on talking, their people died. Their people were not killed because they were Muslims. No Muslim is killed in Kashmir because he's a Muslim. They are killed because they have some kind of association with the Indian nation. Number one, because they are considered as kafirs. And Farooq Abdullah must know, and this representative of Farooq Abdullah, let me remind him, their representative, Lok Sabha member, sitting MP, is Akbar Lone. He raised the slogan of Pakistan Zindabad in the live Jammu Kashmir Assembly. And reporters asked him outside, why did you do it? कहता है मैं मुसलमान हूँ, बाबुक हो गया. This is Farooq Abdullah, and he was given promotion. He was rewarded with a seat in the parliament. This is Farooq Abdullah. These double-speaking folks, these are the people. But I'm also, I am worried. I am disgusted with the approach of the government. Why should, just a second, let me complete. Why should Farooq Abdullah even shed crocodile tears on Kashmir when my government, when my Narendra Modi, when my Amit Shah, my BJP, the Sanatani sort that saw 5th of August 2019.
Okay, let's get in a view from the BJP. Sanju Verma is on the debate. Sanju Verma, answer that question.
Everything since then is... BJP is not acknowledging that what...
You made your point, Mr. Abdullah. You made your point. Let's get a response from Sanju Verma. Yes.
He can't spare a second.
I understand your sentiments, Mr. Ambardar. I understand what you're saying. Let's get a response. You've asked a question. This is Sanju Verma now responding to you.
They are emboldened. That's why we are killed. We continue to suffer genocide.
May I please? Okay. Pranesh, first and foremost, I can understand the anguish of Lalit Ambardar And I also, through your channel, want to express my condolences to Puran Krishan Bhatt's family and his near and dear ones. You know, I also agree with what Lalit Ambardar said, that Farooq Abdullah's statement today saying that killings will continue until justice is served is both ridiculous, appalling and obnoxious, to say the least. Where I disagree with Lalit Ambardar, and I say this in all earnestness and with a lot of humility, I know that every single life counts, especially that of every single Kashmiri Pandit, because they've been through hell and back in the last so many years. I just want to say that, you know, now what does the government do? The government, I think, Pranesh, can engage either diplomatically or via military offensives, and I think the Narendra Modi government, one thing which they have done is that Pakistan has completely been stripped out of the equation when it comes to Kashmir. Do note that in the last 8 years, every time Pakistan has raised the Kashmir issue at United Nations or other related forums, it has been rebuffed stoically. So internationally, Pakistan is not getting any support on the Kashmir issue. So diplomatically, I think that is something that the Modi government needs to be acknowledged for. Now, in terms of military offensive, I think abrogation of Article 370 3 years back was a landmark step, and yes, I think killings need to stop. The government needs to do more. I'm not going to sit here and say that enough has been done. Enough has been done, but more needs to be done. But let's not forget that what is the fountainhead of terror? The head of the snake. The head of the snake in this case is radical Islamist terror. It is Islamic jihad. And likes of the Farooq Abdullah representative here, or even I'm sure Majid Haibi, when he gets an opportunity to comment, these people will come here on national television, shed crocodile tears for Kashmiri Pandits, but on the ground, you will never see them raising a slogan against radical Islamist jihad. They will never condemn Farooq Abdullah. They will never condemn Mehbooba Mufti. They will never condemn Omar Abdullah. So
forget condemning Abdullah. I don't think Majid Hydari can even take a stand against Burhan Wani. Let's put him to test. Majid Hydari, will you condemn Burhan Wani?
I am not here for any oath-taking ceremony. That will I condemn?
Will you condemn him or not, sir?
Kindly pose some genuine questions.
Did he not spill blood?
See, it is for the honourable courts to decide who has done
There
what.
you go. You see, this is the problem.
Hypocrisy.
Now, Bashir Ahmad refuses to... No, Bashir Ahmad, 1 minute. Sanju Verma, 1 minute. Bashir Ahmad refuses to name the people behind the bloodshed.
Logical, sensible question.
Is this not logical and sensible, sir? Majid Hydari, who do you think Burhan Wani was?
Which Burhan Wani are you talking about?
Which Burhan Wani do you think I am talking about?
I don't know.
This man has a memory loss.
Sanju Verma Saiba, this is a serious debate. Somebody has lost his life.
Yes, this is a serious debate,
because of the failures of your
mockery of this debate by
I am not
feigning
taking any
ignorance
mockery.
about Burhan
Firstly,
Wani.
Dr. Farooq Abdullah is not any era, Nattu Khaira.
No, Dr. Farooq, 1 minute. I'll tell you who Dr. Farooq Abdullah is. Let me list the number of killings, massacre actually, under Abdullah. No, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Majid Hydari साहब बोलने तो दीजिए. अब आप बोल नहीं रहे, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ आपको बुरहान वानी पे, मुझे तो बोलने दीजिए. अब ये देखिए सर, and we have that graphic playing out. 1997, Sangrampura, Baggam, 7 Kashmiri Hindus killed. Abdullahs were in par. 1998, Vandhama in Gandarbal, 26 Kashmiri Hindus killed. Abdullahs were in par. 1998, Prankot, Udhampur, 26 Hindus killed. Abdullahs were in par. Chapnari in Doda, 25 Hindus killed. This was 1998. Again in 2000, Chhattisgarh, Anantnag, 35 Sikhs killed. Who can forget this? 2000 Amarnath Yatra targeted, 32 killed, 21 Hindus, 7 Muslims killed. You will still, Mr. Bashir Ahmad, Majid Hydari, not name the people behind this bloodshed.
No, I'll name them. Firstly, Dr. Farooq Abdullah Saab is not any era, ghaira, nattu ghaira. He's honorable member of parliament.
Yeah, member of parliament. You know, like I said at the start, important member in this, stakeholder of the peace process.
Now, let me tell you one thing. if Jammu and Kashmir became the integral part of India, it was because of the likes of Muftis and Abdullahs. Don't forget what they have done for the nation. They have equally stood for tricolor. They have equally stood for national sentiment. They were never with any neighboring country and they never picked up guns.
ये अफीम पिलाते रहे हैं कश्मीर में मुसलमानों को. अरे अब्दुल्ला की
3 years ago, this same Sanju Verma Sahiba would say, Adaniya Mehbooba Mufti Sahiba. She would say, Mehbooba Mufti is the devi of democracy. These used to be the words of Sanju Verma Sahiba.
February 1948. Sheikh Abdullah, Farooq Abdullah's father and Omar Abdullah's grandfather is on record wanting separate Muslim electorates. He is on record saying Kashmir is an integral part of Pakistan and not of India. And to this day,
BJP not aligned with the Abdullahs and the Muftis?
Nothing has changed.
No, did BJP not align with both the Muftis and Abdullahs? Do you forget? Do you forget you would stand with folded hands before Mehbooba Mufti
This shameful statement was made by Farooq Abdullah and people like you were clapping from the sidelines.
No, let's get back to the debate. No, one minute. Majid Hydari, let me go back to Bashir Ahmed. Sir, you make up your mind. Majid Hydari, देखिए Majid Hydari, Sanju Verma, calm down. Majid Hydari साहब, I am giving you some time. Coming to you, Mr. Ambardar, coming to you. I know you want to come in. Majid Hydari साहब, आप थोड़ा सोचिए कि आप क्या बोलने वाले हैं. Because people who've lost their loved ones, sir, are watching this. The country is watching this. They're listening to every word you are saying. So please, please, sir, please spare a thought for them. 1 minute, Bashir Ahmed. Majid Hydari, 1 minute, sir. आप ऐसे गुस्सा क्यों जाते हैं? Bashir Ahmed, ये जो फारूक अब्दुल्ला जस्टिस की बात कर रहे हैं, ये जस्टिस किसके लिए चाह रहे हैं? ये
हाँ, देखिए, जस्टिस जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों के लिए. आप जस्टिस को, फारूक साहब ने अगर जस्टिस के लिए कहा तो आपको क्यों ये पिंच हो रहा है कि जस्टिस के लिए उन्होंने कहा है?
बिल्कुल पिंच नहीं
होना चाहिए ना. क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए जस्टिस जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों के लिए? हिंदू, मुसलमान, सिख, क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए?
पूरन कृष्ण भट्ट जिनकी हत्या हुई, क्या वो जम्मू कश्मीर के नहीं थे?
जिसको हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, मैंने कहा बिल्कुल हम उसको कंडेम करते हैं. कोई भी जो किसी की किलिंग करता है वो किसी धर्म में नहीं लिखा है.
नहीं तो
किसी धर्म का वो बंदा नहीं होता है. लेकिन सवाल यह है कि जस्टिस जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों को नहीं दिया जा रहा है.
बशीर अहमद कोई भी और किसी की नहीं है. ललित अंबारदार,
आपने मुझे बताइए, आपने
ललित अंबारदार इसमें देखिए जवाब देना चाहते हैं, आपको सुन लेते हैं उनकी भी. यस मिस्टर अंबारदार,
सुन लीजिए, पहले मुझे सुन लीजिए, क्योंकि लेट मी कंप्लीट इट.
जो आप अगर सुनिए,
नहीं रिमाइंड क्या करना है?
जो जहादियों ने हिंदुओं को कत्लेआम किया, उनको मजार में क्यों दफनाते हो? अगर वो मुसलमान नहीं है तो क्या नारे नहीं?
सवाल यह है कि आप
मुस्तफा
वो आपसे पूछना है,
अल्लाह अकबर कहना होगा. और आपका फारूक अब्दुल्ला कहता है कि हमारे बच्चे नौकरी के लिए नहीं मरते, टूरिज्म के लिए नहीं मरते, कौम के लिए मरते. कौन सी कौम? जिना की मुस्लिम टू नेशन तेरी कौम. हमारा मुस्लिम मेजॉरिटी स्टेट है, यहाँ पे मुस्लिम कैरेक्टर रहेगा. ये आप कह रहे हो कि आप कौन नहीं जानते कौन किसको मारता है. मेरी प्रॉब्लम ये है सर प्रणेश, लेट मी रिमाइंड यू.
अंबरदार साहब, आपसे हमने सर्टिफिकेट नहीं लेना. आपसे हमने सर्टिफिकेट नहीं लेना अंबरदार साहब. आप लिस्ट कर लीजिए. We do not need certificate from you.
मैं आपको सर्टिफिकेट दूं.
हाँ,
मैं आपको देना भी नहीं चाहता. मैं तो आप लोगों को जेल में डलवाना चाहता हूं.
नहीं, कहां से सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए बशीर अहमद साहब?
मैं बिठाना चाहता हूं.
नो, वेयर डू यू नीड द सर्टिफिकेट फ्रॉम?
कोई बात नहीं, फिर क्या होगा?
ये मैं लेट मी कम यार.
Who are you?
Let me come.
Answer that, Pranesh.
Let me come. Let me Pranesh.
Okay, Mr. Ambada, make your point. Yes.
Let's not distract. मैं गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से अपील करता हूं. If you stop mocking of genocide of Kashmiri Hindus, if you want to stop what Farooq Abdullah has threatened you, if you do not listen to him, if you do not give him what he wants, Kashmiri Hindus will continue to be killed in Kashmir. If you want to stop all this, if you want to stop Hindu phobia there, please let this government acknowledge what Kashmiri Hindus have suffered genocide formally, establish tribunal, try people including Farooq Abdullah and Mufti Muhammad Sayyid. India's first Muslim Home Minister, who got his daughter exchanged for dreaded dozen terrorists. He could not do anything. He was paralyzed when it came to saving Kashmiri Hindus. Farooq Abdullah abandoned their role in the genocide of Kashmiri Hindus has to be investigated.
Sanju Verma will center walk the talk. Sanju Verma,
for this Mufti.
It's a direct question by Lalit Ambadkar and many like him who are still awaiting justice 3 decades later.
Let me complete, Pranesh. Let Government should stop using Kashmiri Hindus as guinea pigs in your secular experimentation in Kashmir. Election obsessed. Amit Shah did not spare a second for genocide survivors, neither in Jammu nor in Srinagar. 5,000 Kashmiri Hindu boys and girls are protesting for the past 6 months, only asking for right to life and dignity. Is it too much? It is.
May I please?
He's asking for justice too much. Sanju Verma responding to that question. Now 1 minute, Mr. Ambadkar. Let Sanju Verma come in with a response. Yes, ma'am.
You are committing offense.
May I please?
Yes, go ahead.
Pranesh, I started my intervention by saying I completely, agree with a lot of the pertinent points raised by Lalit Ambadkar. His anguish is completely understandable. I've been on umpteen debates on your channel with Lalit Ambadkar, and I just have this to say that, if you look at the history of the Modi government, be it abrogation of Article 370, be it the fact that 7th Pay Commission recommendations are now applicable, be it the fact that Pahari community is now being given the scheduled tribe status, be it the fact that 3 lakh Kashmiris have been given domicile certificates. You cannot question the bona fides of this government, but where? I want Lalit Ambadkar to acknowledge
what have you done for Kashmiri Hindus, ma'am? What have you done for Kashmiri Hindus?
I know the other
What have you done for Kashmiri Hindus? Name one.
Will not acknowledge it.
Name one point, ma'am.
What
have you done for the Kashmiri Hindus?
Mr.
Give me one point.
I did not heckle you.
Ma'am, what have you
Please
done
let
for
me
Kashmiri
finish.
Hindus? Tell me.
Please let me finish, Mr. Ambadkar.
Ma'am,
can I please?
2019.
Mr. Ambadkar, you cannot heckle me like this. May I finish?
Okay, let's not talk over each other. 1 minute, please. Let's have some sanctity here, please. Let's not talk over each other. Mr. Ambadkar, you've asked a question. Let Sanju Verma respond to that.
You cannot heckle me like this. Thank you, Pranesh. Thank you, Pranesh. Pranesh, I will repeat at the cost of sounding cliche. Please,
Mr. Ambadkar, you've asked a question. Sir, it's not fair. You've asked a question. Let her respond. She is responding to what you said.
Yes, Mr. Ambadkar, you asked a valid question. Now let me, respond. Pranesh, I just want to say one thing. Rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits is on top of the agenda of the Modi government. But what I fail to understand is that why is it that no questions? Modi government is accountable, yes. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha is accountable, yes. But at the same time, do you not realize that the likes of Farooq Abdullah, Mehbooba Mufti, Omar Abdullah, have you seen when ML Bindru was killed, when Deepak Chand was killed, when that poor Golgappa seller Virendra Paswan was killed, when that poor hawker Arvind Saha was killed, when recently Rahul Bhatt was killed, or for that matter, when a few days back Puran Krishan Bhatt was killed? Have you ever seen Farooq Abdullah, Omar Abdullah or Mehbooba Mufti openly saying that radical Islamist jihad is the fountainhead of the problem in Kashmir Valley? No. I think we need to have these politicians acknowledge the problem, because only when you acknowledge the problem, you can work towards the resolution.
Do you acknowledge the problem, Bashir Ahmed? Answer that question. Do you acknowledge the problem?
बेसिकली जो बहस चल रही है, जो आप कह रहे हैं कि हम एक्नॉलेज करते हैं, हम कहते हैं कि साहब किलिंग्स हो रही हैं। अगर आपने गिना कि 1997 में, 1998 में, 1999 में ये सारी किलिंग्स हुई, लेकिन साइमल्टेनियसली आप मुझे बताइए 2014 के बाद जो किलिंग्स हुई हैं, हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट? चलो मान के चलते हैं किलिंग हुई है, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस की भी किलिंग हुई है, महबूबा मुफ्ती जो पीडीपी के उनके भी किलिंग हुई है।
अब्दुल्ला कहते हैं पीओके भारत का हिस्सा नहीं है,
बात सुनिए।
अब्दुल्ला कहते हैं पीओके पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा है। आपको शर्म आती है या नहीं? यहाँ बैठकर आप पॉलिटिकल मोरालिटी पर भाषण दे रहे हैं, किलिंग्स पर भाषण दे रहे हैं, इस्लामिक जिहाद के बारे में
The family members of Puran Krishan Bhatt
को कंडेम कीजिए।
1 minute, Sanju Verma, we've run out of time. The family members of Mr. Bhatt, late Mr. Bhatt, have spoken. The message is loud and clear. Will Farooq Abdullah introspect, retract what he said and apologize to all those people who've lost their loved ones to the Islamist jihad which is raging? Let's leave it at that. Thanks for joining us on debate number 1. To the other big story we are tracking, tomorrow the Supreme Court is going to hear the PILs challenging the release of 11 convicts in the 2002 murder and rapes. Ahead of hearing on PILs, as per the Supreme Court orders, Gujarat government has filed an affidavit in the Bilkis Bano case, and in what comes as a fresh piece of information, the submission states that the centre had approved the remission and premature release of 11 life-term convicts in the Bilkis Bano case on account of their good behaviour. The affidavit states that the convicts had completed 14 years of their sentence and were released as their behavior was found to be good. The affidavit also notes that the release was opposed by the Superintendent of Police CBI Mumbai and Special Judge CBI Mumbai. The 11 convicts, remember, had walked out of the Godhra sub-jail on August 15 after the Gujarat government granted them remission from the life sentencing following an SC order. The defense for the release has been that it was only following the prescribed rules and the remission was given on instructions of the Supreme Court after the convicts had served over 15 years behind bars and were suffering from poor health and old age.
You're watching the news. You're watching the News Hour at 10. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And before we throw it open to our guest joining us, Harish Nara, legal editor, is with us. Harish, good evening. Break this down for our viewers.
Yes, in fact, Manish, Gujarat's affidavit has made several revelations. One, that despite this being a very heinous and gruesome offense, the Gujarat government has released all these 11 convicts, not only observing that they had spent 14 years in jail, but very significantly saying that it was observed that their behavior was good. And the second biggest revelation is that it very clearly says that center's approval had been taken before releasing these convicts. And number 3, they say that the two petitioners in the Supreme Court, that is Subhashini Ali and Mahua Moitra, have no locus standi to challenge this release, and says that these are busybodies with political mechanization. So in a way, the Gujarat government is justifying the release of all these 11 convicts. So this is the first time Gujarat government has officially broken its silence. And it also says that the 1992 policy which was adopted to release these convicts the permission was given by Supreme Court as per a judgment on May 13, 2022 in Radhesham Bhagavan Das case. And therefore, once the Supreme Court gave it permission to release these convicts under 1992 rule, which did not prevent the state from releasing rape, gang rape and murder convicts. The state was the final authority to decide whether these convicts should be released or not. So on several counts, the state government has justified the release of 11 convicts in the Bilkis Bano rape case, gang rape case. Remember, Pranesh, she was not just gang rape. Her 3-year-old daughter was murdered, and also 7 relatives of Bilkis Bano was also murdered. And now the Gujarat government goes on to say that it was observed that their behavior was good. This is one of the reasons given for releasing all these 11 convicts. Back to you.
Let's see what unfolds in the court tomorrow. Harish, thanks for joining us and breaking this on Times. Now let's open this up. Subhash Jha is a lawyer, Naveen Choma, lawyer, Anirban Banerjee, political analyst, Atikur Rahman, Islamic scholar, completes the panel. Anirban Banerjee, let me begin by asking you what you make of this information.
This is nothing unexpected. This is nothing that comes as a shock to us. We always knew that it was the political will of the RSS BJP who rule both at the union level and at the Gujarat state level, who have simply acknowledged the deeds, not the misdeeds, but the deeds, great deeds indeed, done by these people in the 2002 Gujarat riots. Not riots, it was rather a genocide where these kind of people were actually appointed by the then ruling dispensation, the RSS BJP, to do these great deeds for which they have been felicitated once they were released from the jail, from the prison. And we must remember that they didn't really serve their 14 or 15 years of sentence. Most of the time, each one of them were out on parole. Hardly a few months or a few years inside the prison were they. And even then, the Gujarat state government and the union government, both led by the RSS BJP, they have the audacity to file an affidavit before the Supreme Court and state that their behavior was good. And I must say their behavior inside the prison was not good. It was their behavior in the 2002 genocide that was good, according to the RSS BJP. They have simply garlanded them both symbolically and physically and literally. This is what the RSS BJP stands for. There's nothing more to say.
Naveen Chomal, respond to that.
See, I will not go in the political overtures. I'll just confine myself as a lawyer. Whatever a person is found guilty of any crime, he is sentenced for that crime to undergo the imprisonment. In this case, it was definitely life imprisonment. Now comes another set of rules, as in this case, 1992 remission rules. So section 432, 433, 433A of the Code of Criminal Procedure prescribe that people who have been convicted for life imprisonment, after they complete 14 years of their imprisonment, their remission, what they have earned in the 14 years because of their good conduct, will also be added in their punishment undergone, and depending on the categorization as part of the crime which they have committed, they will be categorized, and subsequently when they finish that particular period, they shall be released. So their sentence will be commuted. So these rules are applicable in all states all over India. So far, lakhs and lakhs of people must have walked out who have been guilty of commission of murder. So these people are not due. So question arises that only because they are having some political vendetta, that cannot change the rules. So I think I hope Supreme Court will be basically concentrating on the rules rather than getting swayed by any political overtones on this matter.
Okay, let me ask you a moral question, Mr. Chomal. You're a reasonable man. Do you believe a group of rapists and murderers who've been convicted under the law should be set free?
Before I was born, even in all religions it has been said, even Christianity it is said that every sinner has a future, every saint has a past. So the law works on both the theories, the punitive theory as well as the reformative theory. So when they have been committed for the heinous crimes, they have undergone 14 years of imprisonment. But the law also wants them to be reformed as citizens, and all the citizens in the country, they are given an example that despite these people having such a bad past, now they have reformed. So it is sending a very big social message to across the citizens, and the law is serving certain purpose. I have a rebuttal. I cannot, confine myself to the morality what the opposition parties are trying to raise.
Okay.
We have to serve.
Anirban Banerjee wants to respond to what you just said.
A very strong message is being said that despite being sinners, they are.
Now, the fact of the matter is, after they were released and there was uproar all throughout the country, one of the BJP MLAs actually said that they are Brahmins, therefore they were not capable of doing such things. So the BJP must make their stand clear whether they believe that they did such a thing, or do they believe that they have reformed?
They have not
what is
been released on the basis
actual
of being
position?
Brahmin. That is a subsequently different issue, altogether different
issue. The BJP MLA herself said that she believes because they are Brahmins, they did not do such things.
Statement. Nobody is subscribing to that statement.
Any action against her? She is an MLA. She is not an ordinary person, or ordinary BJP member. She is an MLA and also a part of that review committee. And also part of the review committee. If a person, part of the very review committee who had decided that these people should go free, makes a statement as this,
there is committee.
Is that not a challenge to the trial court's verdict, the CBI court's verdict?
Manish, committee goes by the rules, and the rules are very strict.
Right, the rules are very strict, I understand. Then aren't the rules very strict for the BJP MLA? Weren't there any conflict of interest in here? These people were all BJP members.
No, rules are...
The BJP MLAs in the
Okay, let's get a response from Subhash Jha. Subhash Jha, how do you see this, sir?
Anirban.
This revelation, what do you make of...
I challenge you.
Let Mr. Subhash Jha come in. Mr. Chomal, we'll come back to you, sir.
See, the law does not recognize what is known as moral conviction. Rather, it denounces. So we have to go... The Constitution gave certain powers to the state legislature. And the state legislature, in accordance with the power which the Constitution has conferred, has framed rules 1992, by which these accused persons have been enlarged, have been released on premature after completion of 14 years of their sentence. Now, whether that is correct, not correct, is certainly not for us to decide. The matter has been challenged in the Supreme Court. Now, I wonder how can such petition be filed by strangers? Now, I may tell you, in 2018, Romila Thapar and others had also filed similar such petitions seeking to transfer the investigation of that Bhima Koregaon case to SIT. Now, in a split verdict where Justice Chandrachud differed with the other two judges, Justice Deepak Mishra and Justice Khanvilkar, as he then were. Now, in that case, the Supreme Court has said that you have no locus standi to file a petition, a stranger, totally stranger to the parties who are concerned with the matter. You can't file such petition. Same analogy applies here also. How could have they ever filed a petition in the Supreme, and that too in the Supreme Court, invoking Article 32? How can you circumvent the High Court under 226? So therefore, in my assessment, the Supreme Court in all probabilities should send them back to the High Court if at all they have any grievance. Let those grievances be vented before the High Court, concerned High Court, that is Gujarat High Court, and not just approaching Supreme Court and giving...
Okay, Atikur Rahman Sahab, is that the way to go about things?
Well, Pranesh, there are certain things which we should, take care of. Number one is, this is a revealing matter in the light of that the Gujarat elections are approaching, and that is why the centre approved the remission. I am not going against the law. Mr. Chomar and Mr. Jha must be correct. But the 1992
rules don't
sustain Gujarat elections. I interrupted you. Please. Thank you. Here the judge who had, given this particular
what has election got to do with the rules?
Not consulted.
You speak about law, Mr. Atikur Rahman.
Not a law. The CBI, the agency which proved the conviction, that was not consulted. On top of it, after so many days, if this revelation comes, this proves that the felicitation was a part of the central and the state government giving remission to. What does this prove? Are we giving a green signal to all the rapists that after committing the heinous crime and murder too, they will be having this remission, this pardon after 14 years? Go ahead, do what you want. Is this the green signal by the central and the state government and by all the reputed, legal eagles sitting on your panel? They should be ashamed of it.
Mr. Atikur, I may only tell you, I may correct you.
Okay, Subhash Jha, and then I'm coming to you, Anirban.
He is venting out his grievance against Hindus, that's all.
Naveen, can you please see, granting remission or refusing remission is a state subject.
Sir, the CBI was not
consulted. The central government doesn't come into the picture at all.
The CBI, the judge who gave the punishment.
There is no point in blaming the central government. You may say something about the state government.
Mr. Jha is quite conveniently ignorant of the fact that when it is the CBI, a central agency, as the investigative agency, the union government's nod has to be taken before the state decides. It is the CBI, therefore the union government has to give their opinion. In this case, they had given their nod.
No.
And my humble submission to both the governments at the union level and the state levels, wherever the BJP is.
No, there is a provision. Let me just come in here. The center comes into the picture. No, there is section 435 of the Criminal Procedure Code of the CRPC. 1 minute. Section 435 of the CRPC allows center to come into the picture, since it is a central agency prosecuting the matter, which is why Mr. Subhash Jha
opinion has to be taken into consideration.
But it is
so
only
therefore,
the opinion.
even Gurmeet Ram Rahim is out on parole.
The opinion and
why
not the
doesn't the BJP let out all the rapists currently imprisoned all over India? Why don't they free
Well, the Gujarat government has said that the centre had given a go-ahead, all clear. Let's leave it at that. We've run out of time, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. All eyes on the Supreme Court. Let's see what happens there in this case tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
The most pressing issues, the most informed minds, a free and fair exchange. Converse India with Rahul Shivshankar.
आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में
नहीं हेमामान
कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए जी राधे राधे कल राखी सावंत का he will also become
The News Hour at 10.
National Conference Supremo Farooq Abdullah attacked the centre over targeted killings and questioned the motive behind scrapping Article 370. Further asked, why haven't killings stopped despite the abrogation? Protesters expressed their anger over the killing of Kashmiri Hindu on October 15 by defacing the all-parties Hurriyat office hoarding in Srinagar. Ahead of Gujarat Assembly polls, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched distribution of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana Ayushman cards via video conferencing. As the construction of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple continues, Prime Minister Modi is likely to celebrate Deepotsav in Ayodhya. The Enforcement Directorate attaches 28 immovable properties and other assets worth 80.65 crore rupees owned by TRS MP Nama Nageshwar Rao and his family in a case related to alleged irregularities in the construction of the Ranchi Expressway.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break. News Hour at 10.
Another SpiceJet aircraft involved in an incident of smoke in cabin during descent while emergency landing at Hyderabad has come to light. Panic-stricken passengers were safely evacuated with the assistance of cabin crew and airport staff. Boxing Federation of India has appointed Irish great Bernard Doone as Director of High Performance. After students of DU's all-women Miranda House were allegedly harassed by men at the college Diwali Fest, the Delhi Commission for Women has issued a notice to the police and the college. Principal of Miranda House College said they have not received any complaints regarding sexual harassment. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee met the family members of victims who lost their lives in a flash flood in Jalpaiguri during Durga Idol immersion on October 5th.
The most pressing issues, the most informed minds, a free and fair exchange. Converse India with Rahul Shivshankar.
आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में।
नहीं हेमा मालिनी।
कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए जी कल राखी सावंत का he will also become. सांसद बनना चाहेंगे उसको तो आप बनने नहीं देंगे। आप दिमाग में सबको ऐसा डाल के रखेंगे फिल्म स्टार ही बनेगा। आपको सब फिल्म स्टार ही चाहिए मथुरा में।
नहीं हेमा मालिनी।
कन्हैया जी ने भक्त चाहिए जी कल राखी सावंत का he will also become. बहुत अच्छी बात है।
आपका क्या विचार है द्वारा आप?
मेरा विचार क्या मैं बताऊं? मेरा विचार भगवान के ऊपर है। लॉर्ड कृष्णा विल डू इट।
तो मैं तो देश की सेवा के लिए ही पैदा हुई हूँ और मैं देश की सेवा करना चाहती हूँ और क्यों नहीं हमारे मोदी साहब हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी चाय बनाते बनाते प्रधानमंत्री जी पीएम बन सकते हैं तो मैं बॉलीवुड में काम करते करते सीएम क्यों नहीं बन सकती हूँ? डेफिनेटली मैं बनूंगी। आप सबका आशीर्वाद चाहिए। तो 2024 में अब आप मुझे चुनाव लड़ते हुए देखेंगे किसके अपोजिट, ये सरप्राइज है।
these were the Hawala route transactions that is being set through dubious NRI accounts, how they are busy sending money back home so that they can be used as secret donations. Now, what exactly were these secret donations? Let's throw another round of graphics, tell you exactly how this modus operandi also worked. This is when it comes to the PFI functionaries there, how they were based abroad, how exactly when it comes to their Hawala transactions and routes, how the money was misused and how it was brought back home in a way to use it as a hate propaganda against the vulnerable youth. We have also seen that when it comes to the indoctrination, several incriminating materials that has also been recovered.
Big revelations have come in from the FIRs that NI has registered in the PFI case. It goes on to show PFI's link with Al-Qaeda and foreign entities from Afghanistan as well as Saudi Arabia, how youth used to be radicalized and then sent to Afghanistan for terrorist training. Now these FIRs that Time Now has access shows that how physical camps used to be organized by PFI in the name of karate camps, karate school, and through these they used to be provoked with hate speeches, and by imparting this information about the alleged violence against Muslims in Jammu and Kashmir. And after radicalizing them, they used to be sent to Khorasan province of Afghanistan, where they used to be given terrorist training there.
National Conference Supremo Farooq Abdullah attacked the centre over targeted killings and questioned the motive behind scrapping Article 370. Further asked, why haven't killings stopped despite the abrogation? Protesters expressed their anger over the killing of Kashmiri Hindu on October 15 by defacing the All Parties Hurriyat office hoarding in Srinagar. Ahead of Gujarat Assembly polls, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched distribution of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana Ayushman cards via video conferencing. As the construction of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple continues, Prime Minister Modi is likely to celebrate Deepotsav in Ayodhya. The Enforcement Directorate attaches 28 immovable properties and other assets worth 80.65 crore rupees owned by TRS MP Nama Nageshwar Rao and his family in a case related to alleged irregularities in the construction of the Ranchi Expressway.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching News Now Overnight with me, Priya Bhel. First up, the top 50 stories you need to know about. Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia quizzed by the CBI for over 9 hours in Delhi excise policy scam case. Soon after exiting CBI headquarters, Sisodia alleged that the case against him was fake and part of Operation Lotus being staged by the opposition. Sisodia also revealed that BJP offered him chief ministerial post to leave Aam Aadmi Party. Meanwhile, earlier in the day, addressing a mega rally in Gujarat, Aam Aadmi Party's national convener Arvind Kejriwal alleged that BJP is hatching a plot to keep Sisodia away from campaigning in Gujarat for the upcoming assembly elections. AAP workers and supporters staged a dharna outside CBI headquarters earlier in the day against the summons that were issued to Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. Following protest, Section 144 was imposed near CBI HQ. 119, including AAP leaders Atishi and Sanjay Singh, were detained. Taking a dig at Sisodia, BJP national spokesperson Sambit Patra said sloganeering in an open car seemed as though Aam Aadmi Party won the World Cup of corruption. While comparing Sisodia to Bhagat Singh, Aam Aadmi Party MLA Atishi said anybody working for the welfare of the people is being sent to jail. She even termed AAP's agitation as second freedom struggle in the country. Aam Aadmi Party MP Sanjay Singh also said that Sisodia is walking on Bhagat Singh's path. Congress leader Manish Tiwari said Bhagat Singh's comparison with Sisodia was laughable. The Supreme Court has dismissed a plea of BJP leader Manoj Tiwari challenging a Delhi High Court order for refusing to quash summons of a trial court against him in a criminal defamation case. Voting for Congress presidential elections concluded at 4 p.m. today. According to party's Central Election Authority Chairman Madhusudan Mistry, 9,500 delegates cast their votes. Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge were spotted casting their vote in the election for the president's post in Karnataka. After casting their vote in AICC headquarters in Delhi, interim Congress chief Sonia Gandhi said that she had been waiting for this process for a very long time. Flanked by Congress workers, Shashi Tharoor cast his vote at Kerala Congress headquarters in Thiruvananthapuram. He also fired a cryptic tweet giving clear hints about what could be the outcome of the elections for the Congress top job. Congress MPs Shashi Tharoor and Abhishek Manu Singhvi, whose names were missing on the first list of parliamentary committee chairmen rolled out recently, made their way into the second one. In a massive pre-poll relief, Gujarat government has reduced value-added tax on CNG and PNG by 10%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the 90th Interpol General Assembly tomorrow in New Delhi. Massive protests have erupted outside DC office in Karnataka's Mandya district. Residents of BD colony sought permanent solution to flood misery post heavy rains. This after low-lying areas were inundated by heavy rains. BHP leader has stoked controversy with his hate speech. He claimed Gurgaon incident was a part of larger conspiracy of land jihad being waged by Muslim community. He issued a warning to Maulvis to pack their belongings and leave. UP Deputy Chief Minister Brajesh Pathak claims BJP was a well-wisher of the Muslims. Assam's Congress President Bhupen Bora accused the Saffron Party of polarization while reacting to VHP leader's comments. National Conference Supremo Farooq Abdullah attacked the centre over targeted killings and questioned the motive behind scrapping Article 370. He also asked why haven't killings stopped despite the abrogation. Protesters, meanwhile, expressed anger over killing of Kashmiri Hindu on 15th of October by defacing the all parties Hurriyat offices in Srinagar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched Prime Minister Bharatiya Jan Urvarak Pariyojana, One Nation, One Fertilizer in Delhi. After the launch, Prime Minister said the 12th installment worth rupees 16,000 crore rupees has been sent to the farmers across the country. He added that the scheme will help farmers with cheaper and good quality fertilizer. Prime Minister also stressed on the homegrown production of edible oil, fertilizer and crude oil from other countries. He said that prices of these goods go up exponentially whenever there is an international crisis like COVID or Russia-Ukraine war. Ahead of Gujarat Assembly elections, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched distribution of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana Ayushman cards via video conferencing. As the construction of Ram Janmabhoomi temple continues, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to celebrate Deepotsav in Ayodhya. ED has attached 28 immovable properties and other assets worth rupees 80.65 crores owned by TRS MP Namanageshwar Rao and his family in a case related to alleged irregularities in construction of Ranchi Expressway. Another SpiceJet aircraft involved in an incident of smoke in cabin during descent while emergency landing at Hyderabad has come to light. Panic-stricken passengers were safely evacuated by the assistance of cabin crew and airport staff. Boxing Federation of India has appointed Irish great Bernard Doone as Director of High Performance. After students of Delhi University's all-women Miranda House were allegedly harassed by men at the college Diwali Fest, the Delhi Commission for Women has issued a notice to the police as well as the college. The principal of Miranda House said they have not received any complaints regarding sexual harassment. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee met the family members of victims who lost their lives in flash flood in Jalpaiguri during Durga Idol immersion on 5th of October. Heavy rains lashed Raipur district in Chhattisgarh. Rains expected to continue in the region tomorrow as well. Two people were seen attacking with sharp weapons in broad daylight in Madurai after an argument reportedly broke out over a parking space. 6 people have been arrested. Arrested in Patra Chaul case, Shiv Sena leader and MP Sanjay Raut's bail hearing has been adjourned to tomorrow. He was produced in PMLA court after judicial custody ended. 4, including a doctor and an engineer, died after their car crashed into a container truck on Purvanchal Expressway while chasing 300 km/h speed while doing a Facebook Live. BSF shot down a drone coming from Pakistan in Amritsar, recovered 2 kilograms of heroin. BSF commandant said that movement of drones has increased significantly and this is a new challenge for the Jawans. J&K police have busted a terror hideout in Sangla area of Surankot in Poonch. Arms and ammunition have been recovered. With Diwali just around the corner, breathing already gets difficult in Delhi. Air quality index in the national capital has plunged to poor category with an AQI reading of 242. Explosive-laden suicide drones struck Ukraine's capital as families were preparing to start their week early Monday. Several hours after the deadly strike on Kiev, Russian army affirmed that it had hit all assigned targets in Ukraine. Washington, D.C. has condemned the drone strikes on Ukrainian capital and rebuked Russia for reprehensible attacks against civilians and civilian infrastructure. Ukraine exports almost 8 million tons of food by sea. Speaking during his evening address, Zelensky said that 60% of the transported goods were sent to Africa and Asia. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has donated ritual offerings to a Tokyo shrine viewed by Chinese and Korean as a symbol of Japanese wartime aggression. Australian Prime Minister has warned that the situation in flooded areas of the country remained very dangerous, with more rains expected later this week. Victoria is the worst affected state, with some towns experiencing highest river peaks in decades. Brazil's former president Inácio Lula da Silva and incumbent Jair Bolsonaro have clashed in their first one-on-one debate. The two repeatedly called each other liars during an encounter lasting over an hour. A politician in Rio has made history by becoming the first transgender woman elected to office in Rio de Janeiro's state legislature. 33-year-old Danielle Balbi hopes to advocate for laws on behalf of her blue-collar constituency, including those affecting the LGBTQ community. 2 women and a man were killed and 4th person wounded in a shooting in Pittsburgh. Officials said the gunfire occurred near a busy north side intersection. Soccer fans in Mexico spent their weekend admiring the World Cup trophy as it continued to its tour around the globe ahead of 2022 tournament in Qatar. And just about a few hours ago, after a 9-hour-long questioning by the CBI, Manish Sisodia left the headquarters of the Central Investigative Agency. And after his release, Sisodia alleged that he was pressured by the CBI during the interrogation to leave Aam Aadmi Party and join the BJP. He also alleged that he understood that the questioning was not about the excise case, but Operation Lotus.
इन्होंने सीबीआई में जो मेरे खिलाफ केस करा रखा है वो दिल्ली में एक्चुअली ऑपरेशन लोटस को कामयाब करने के लिए करा रखा है। ये बात पहले भी मुझे बाहर से समझ में आ रही थी, लेकिन आज अंदर जाके सीबीआई के हेडक्वार्टर में 9 घंटे तक मेरे को और समझ में आई कि किस तरह से भारतीय जनता पार्टी सीबीआई जैसी एजेंसीज को अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल तरीके से, असंवैधानिक तरीके से, गलत तरीके से दबाव बनाने के लिए यूज कर रही है। एक्साइज पे बात हुई, लेकिन मुझे आश्चर्य हुआ कि वहां भी साइड में मुझ पे दबाव बनाया गया कि आप छोड़ दो, आप में क्यों हो। मैंने कहा क्यों? बोले ये केस आपके ऊपर ऐसे चलते रहेंगे, नहीं तो सत्येंद्र जैन के पास कौन से केस हैं, सत्येंद्र जैन के ऊपर कौन से सच्चे केस हैं, वो भी चल रहे हैं। 6 महीने वो जेल रह सकते हैं तो 6 महीने आप भी रह सकते हो। तो मैंने कहा बीजेपी तो बहुत गंदी पार्टी है, मैं उसके लिए आप थोड़ी छोड़ सकता हूँ। तो मुझे कहा गया कि नहीं देखो ये केस तो ऐसे चलते रहेंगे, दूसरा फायदा आपको वो लोग मुख्यमंत्री भी बनाएंगे फिर।
Before this, earlier in the day, the capital witnessed full-blown drama. Aam Aadmi Party turned Sisodia's questioning into a spectacle. Sisodia has been accused of high-level corruption in the liquor scam, but he's being protected and projected as a martyr by his party. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal went to the lengths of equating him with revolutionary freedom fighter Bhagat Singh. Chief Minister Kejriwal also seems to believe that this is the second fight for freedom, a sentiment that was also echoed by his party members like Atishi.
उन्होंने कहा गुजरात में हमारी सरकार बनेगी, गुजरात में भी गांव-गांव के अंदर, शहर-शहर के अंदर ढेर सारे स्कूल बनाएंगे। अभी उन्होंने गुजरात आना था, लेकिन आज इन लोगों ने मनीष सिसोदिया को गिरफ्तार कर लिया। वो नहीं चाहते कि मनीष सिसोदिया गुजरात में जाके चुनाव का प्रचार करें। 1 महीने तक ये मनीष सिसोदिया को गिरफ्तार करेंगे। जैसे ही 8 तारीख को नतीजे आएंगे, गुजरात में आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी, जेल के ताले टूटेंगे, मनीष सिसोदिया छूटेंगे। मैं मनीष जी को कहना चाहता हूं, आप चिंता मत करो, आपके ना आने से प्रचार बंद नहीं होने वाला। ये सारी जनता प्रचार कर रही है, घर घर जाके प्रचार कर रही है।
And after the sensational allegations that were leveled by Manish Sisodia after his questioning today, CBI has been forced to come out and issue an official statement of rebuttal. They have said that Sisodia was not asked to leave his party as is being alleged by Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. Generally, CBI does not issue statements in the middle of an ongoing investigation, but in this case, so far, it has already happened on 2 occasions. The first time around, when Sisodia had linked the death of a law officer with his case, then also CBI had been forced to come out and explain the status of things and set the record straight. Bhavtosh now joins me for more information on this. Bhavtosh, these are pretty wild allegations being leveled by Manish Sisodia against the CBI, that an agency that comes under the central government actually forced him to switch sides.
Yes, Priya, in fact, a very wild allegation being leveled by a person who has been in political life for now over a decade. And not only he leveled that allegation, but he went on to say that CBI officers told him to leave AAP and join BJP. But CBI, in the middle of ongoing investigation, was forced to issue a statement. And they have said they have strongly refuted these allegations and have reiterated that examination of Mr. Sisodia was carried out as per professional and legal manner, strictly on as per the allegation that have been leveled against him in an ongoing case. Now, CBI has further said that they in fact called Mr. Sisodia after 22 months. Remember, the FIR in this case was filed way back in 17th of August, and then it's only today that he was called in for questioning. Yes, the questioning went for nearly 9 hours, and that happened because a person's statement is recorded and then the person is shown the copy of the statement so that he can make certain changes. That aspect of the case was not explained by Mr. Sisodia. More importantly, remember, Priya, right from the time when CBI as well as Enforcement Directorate have submitted certain court documents, AAP as well as Delhi government has not explained about the real mistakes and the flaws in the excise policy. They have always targeted BJP when they can do so, but to say that the CBI is trying to drag Mr. Sisodia and forced or coerced him to join BJP is completely wild, completely baseless, and CBI, in middle of ongoing investigation, has been forced to issue 2 statements, and these statements have been issued to the media.
Right. Bhavtosh, could there be a fallout of this for Sisodia? Because he probably should not be getting away with making such allegations if they are baseless.
But as far as the CBI is concerned, they have said his statement, at least the first round of questioning has happened. They will go through his statement, and they said if required, he will be called in again for questioning. There are several individuals whose statement have been recorded, both named as well as unnamed accused. Someone like Amit Tharoor, who in fact has recorded his statement on 4 occasions. Vijay Nair, who has been a named accused, he has been arrested in this case. He was questioned for 6 times. And